Nothing on this show is authorized by the Food and Drug Administration, and nothing said here is intended to treat, cure, prevent, or diagnose any disease. Contact your physician before starting a diet or exercise regimen, including supplementation. This is not medical advice and is for entertainment purposes only.
I love the classic organ.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Go ahead and introduce yourself.
yeah,
He's like, this is my podcast now, bitch.
So your intro.
ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the big show. I'm Travis Wilson here with Joey and Taylor Nuts.
And this is the Supworks Podcast.
It's time.
That was probably our best intro that we've ever done.
Little Poor Man's Change, New Revolution song. Check it out. It's family members of mine.
YouTube, Apple, Spotify. Ciao.
Certainly they won't be mad for us playing that.
Yeah, they broke up, so they'll definitely love that.
Oh, damn, they broke up.
They're getting back together, though. They're getting the band back
shit.
together for one of our events that we're doing called Rock the Green Beret. But let's not digress into that yet. Let's talk about buttholes and shit first.
Coming or not. So we got Travis Wilson here. Travis, our good friend.
CEO of Alpha Elite Performance. What's your website, Travis?
It is alphaeliteperformance.com.
Where you can get all kinds of different supplements, hydration, pre-workout, collagen even.
Yeah.
It goes on and on.
It does. And we are a veteran-owned company, being a retired Army Green Beret.
Yep.
Yeah. You want me to just a little bio on myself real quick?
I mean, if you want to do a short bio, we're going to get into the nitty gritty, but go ahead. What's your short bio if you just want to go and do that?
Just, you retired U.S. Army Green Beret, spent a total of 21 years in the military, about 16 of that as a special operator Green Beret. Lots of deployments, all that good stuff.
How do you start something like that? Like, do you just say, hey, I want to be a Green Beret? And you
know what? This is kind of a cool story too. My father was Air Force Pararescue in the United States Air Force. PJs is what they're called, and he was a Vietnam era guy, but he was in Vietnam for a couple tours, and he picked up some Green Berets at one point, and he had just had a lot of respect for those dudes, and at times through just growing up, he would sing ballads or stanzas of the Ballad of the Green Beret by Barry Sadler to me. And it just always kind of stuck. But I initially tried to join the Air Force, and I wanted to be a special operations guy, a PJ like my dad, which is a special operations in the Air Force. Mm-hmm. And it didn't work out during the Clinton administration, and that dick stick didn't allow me into the Air Force, but I went across the hall to the Army. After leaving a military academy, mind you, I was there for a year, went to the Army, and they were like, yeah, if you want to fuck your body up for the rest of your life, come on. And
sign on up.
Yeah, so I became an airborne medic, was in the regular Army, the first of the 501st, as an airborne medic, and then went to selection in 1999 to become a Green Beret, try out for that, and I did. Made it. Then I pissed them off because I was like, nah, I'm just going to get out and go back to school. So I went to Boise State, played a little hockey at Boise State.
I didn't know you played hockey.
I did.
I didn't know that either.
And I'm from Texas. Isn't that crazy? But we also lived in Alaska, so I grew up playing hockey. Yeah, and
these are all things I didn't know. I thought you were from Colorado.
No,
you look like a football guy to me.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah, but I'm also a lot bigger now after I retired and not fat, mind you. I got some tits, but
Some good ones. Some good ones.
some good ones.
Everyone loves tits, dude.
Yeah, me too.
It's the first thing you want when you come out.
Right?
Yeah.
It's the last thing you want when you leave.
Yeah.
Well, we don't know, but we know about the tits thing.
Yeah, that's fact.
So when you went over into the Green Berets, were you still a medic or did you just give that up?
No, so I went to school for exercise science, and when I showed up to the Q course, long story, I came back into the military. They weren't happy that I left, but I begged them. I was like, please let me be a Green Beret. The wars were kicking off. They're like, all right, we'll take you. They actually made me an 18 Echo, which is Special Forces Communication Specialist, Sergeant, whatever. And I was like, well, I was a medic, and, I went to school for exercise science, blah, blah, blah. And they're like, I don't give a fuck. This little Vietnam dude, he was my first TAC. He was like, if you want to be a fucking Green Beret. And this is not, I'm not trying to be racist. I'm trying to,
That's what he sounded like.
Yeah. I'm trying to paint the picture. And he's
It's
like, you're going to be a fucking 18 Echo. get the fuck out of my office. And,
So what is the communications? What is that? Like you're just on the radio all day, or what is that all
you would
about?
think, right? Like, and I didn't want to be a radio dude, but it's
You
more
are
than
right
just.
now.
I know. And it was more than just being a radio. It was computers. It was satellites. It was ensuring that everybody communicate. If you don't have communications, you're going to die, right?
So if the internet goes down, it's your fault.
Right. Exactly. No, that was a big deal. If dudes did not have porn overseas, on deployments, they were pissed. That was worse than fucking failing at a mission. Like these motherfuckers had to have their internet up in
Well,
the
then
house.
it's time to go into battle. Shut the internet down and send them out.
Yeah. But the only time we ever shut that shit down is when there was a death or something bad happened. We weren't allowed to reach out to family members until that family of the death was notified.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah. So, and people kind of knew that. Families kind of knew, like, oh, fuck, I haven't heard from him for a couple of days. And they knew something was coming, through the hopper. But yeah, if the dudes couldn't have porn, fuck. It was the worst job to have. It was never done. It was never, like, you could be an 18 Bravo weapons guy, make sure the guns are good to go, blah, blah, blah. Mm-hmm. Communications dudes, the job was never finished. Because then you had to go get computers up for the command or a VTC, a video conference, in the middle of the desert, or sending red side stuff, meaning, secure stuff through satellite. And so it's a tough job. It's a heavy job because computers and batteries and all that are fucking heavy. Because you're out in the middle of the desert, you got a lot of batteries, big batteries
It's just
too.
a lot of shit to carry.
It's horse shit. It was the worst job in the fucking world.
So this is pre-Green Beret?
No, this is being a Green Beret. 18 Echo, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Pre-Green Beret was an 91 Bravo. That's what the old medic was. And I think now it's a 68 whiskey or something. But
Okay.
Well, back
Anyway.
then, like, did you see any action, like, out on the field kind of thing? Like, did you have to put anyone's guts back in or anything?
yeah, actually, I did.
Well, tell me about, like, the weirdest, spookiest time that you had to sew someone's guts back in or something.
Right. So I actually was in the invasion of Iraq, not as a Green Beret, but as a medic.
Yeah.
At the Alpha Company, 21st Combat Support Hospital, bunch of nerds. But I fortunately was a trauma dude. I loved that because it was also, while in college, I worked at a prison as a medic, which was great. Another story. A lot of cool shit.
We're
Gross
going to have to
shit.
get into that one.
Yeah, a lot of butthole stuff.
We'll do that after this.
So, I mean, you can imagine that first echelon of care just past, the front lines. We saw a lot of people, a lot of death, obviously,
a lot
on
of
both
missing
sides.
limbs.
A lot of missing limbs. There was a Chinook helicopter that was shot out of the sky. We received all those guys. I have lots of stories. And I remember, Lieutenant Leaf Knott, Charles Edward Bush, and Kelly Hornbeck, 3 names that I'll never forget. One being the first, guy that I worked on. Another being one of the first dudes that I had to do CPR on for like 30 some odd minutes.
Jesus.
And then Kelly Hornbeck being a Green Beret. Right at the end of me shipping off back to Texas to then go to the Q course to become a Green Beret. And then I ended up actually at 10th Group, 10th Special Forces Group in Colorado, where Kelly Hornbeck was at. And he passed away as well. But, having met.
Is that the guy, the 30 minutes CPR?
Nope, that was Charles Edward Bush.
Did that guy end up okay?
No, he died.
I was gonna say 30 minutes, no air. You're you're on borrowed time.
And he was actually en route, I believe. I remember listening to the radio. And these are, those 3 names, they just stood out, but they actually, they were already doing CPR en route to us. So usually when they're coding, that you're gonna do some work. But because he was an American, you just want to keep going and going and going until everything's been exhausted. But we would receive Iraqis too. And I'm not gonna lie, I didn't. You do your due diligence and try, but you definitely, I don't give a fuck who cares.
You wouldn't do 30 minutes of CPR on them?
No, especially like we had a dude that was responsible for killing an American. It was just like, I'll give you a Band-Aid, you fuckstick.
Damn.
But it was crazy. War's hell. There's no rules really, but they're supposed to be, and it's just insane.
So back to rules versus no rules. You were working in a prison before this?
Yeah. So yeah.
Also in the medic?
Yep. Because before that, I was in the Army, and I did 4 years as a medic in the airborne infantry.
So you were in there, airborne infantry,
Yeah.
as a medic. Discharge. You work in a prison.
I went to
being a
school to
medic.
Boise State, and I needed a part-time job, so I worked at the state prisons are right there in Boise,
Okay.
over by the airport, and I needed a part-time job, and
So they'll let you part-time?
yeah, it was kind of cool because I still had
That is so mind-blowing.
yeah, I still had all my licenses, if you will, as a medic. I was current on everything, and so I showed up and kind of worked under the
Jail medic,
Yeah,
college student,
yeah,
hockey player,
yeah,
all at once
yep,
in Idaho.
yep.
Wow.
if I'm not doing something, I'm bored. Like right now, I've got like a couple businesses and nonprofits and all sorts of shit. Like I'm always doing something. But yeah, but those prison stories, fuck, they're real. They're all real. Like some weird shit.
What is the lamest reason someone has ever ended up in your care in the prison?
the lamest reason?
Yeah. Like, what the fuck are you doing here?
Man, you know, I never really said what the fuck are you doing here because
Someone have a tummy ache that just wouldn't fucking go away?
There was some of that. I remember my first day I got catcalled and they were like, "Oh, you can be popular here," and I was like, "Oh hell!" But yeah. But the lamest reason, man, you know, they those dudes always want company, so they'll make up some bullshit or drugs, and but you know, they're always told no. But yeah, I don't know.
My butthole's in so much pain.
There was a lot of that. There was a dude that was riding a bedpost. I didn't even know they had bedposts, but there was this. I don't think they do anymore, but this dude was riding a bedpost,
exactly
got stuck.
Do you mean by riding a bedpost?
He wanted to ride a bedpost because apparently he's done this before. This one particular time, it just ripped something, and got the call like, "Hey, can you send down a nurse or the PA?"
There's not even any knobs on those beds.
Yeah, there was. I don't remember.
You're just taking a piece of square metal up the back door.
Well, yeah, well,
how do you fix that? How do you fix that?
I showed up and was like, "This is, you know, definitely above my pay grade."
You're just gonna have to take an Epsom salt stitz bath.
Yeah,
sit in it.
I can't tell you exactly what happened with that. I know that he got to go to the hospital. Maybe it was bullshit, and I don't know. Maybe he cut his butthole open on purpose just to go to the hospital because they'll find any reason to get out of prison and go hang out somewhere else for a little bit.
I'd draw the line and cut my own butthole. I don't know.
This one cat, though, maximum security, this dude would coat the walls of his cell with poop. Seriously.
That would be me.
That would be Joey.
Yeah. I would be. The window. No medical problems, I promise.
Yeah. To the windows, to the wall. There was poop. I don't know what rhymes with that, but yeah. And I had to show up to give him his pills and stuff. And
Sorry. I don't know if there's any pills that can help with that.
No, there's not. He was batshit crazy. But, you know, I would look in there, you know, from a distance because I actually had one of those little claw hands that I could grab the pills in this little white, you know.
Like a grabber arm?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I took that grabber arm and I put it up to the sail where the thing comes down. And I was like, there you go, brother. And you could look in there. And this dude was always naked and had socks that he tied in knots and shoved it up his ass. Did you not?
Don't you think that's a little bit inhibitive to his productivity, if you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. No, I won't get into why he was in there, but and how his childhood, the lack of childhood that he had. But I will say that his childhood was the reason why he was in prison.
Trauma.
And massive trauma. Yeah, it was horrible. But there's so many of those dudes that are in there that I got to meet. They have death row, you know, in Boise and in Idaho. And I got to meet a couple of those guys. And some of you are like, fuck, totally get why you did that. I'm on your side, bro. But then obviously most of them are just fucking nuts.
Poop artists.
Yeah, poop artists. And he would seriously draw in the window. And he didn't want people looking in on him. You know, the bosses, the guards, we call them bosses, they would just look through that shit window. And they were the ones who had to take this fucker out. And I don't know how. I was never there to witness it. Shower him. And then they had to go in there once a week and hose it down. Yeah.
You should have just let it stay up. Everyone would have avoided a lot of trouble.
How old are you during this time?
So I was in my 20s. So 24, 5.
That would have fucked with me. Even at 25.
I was an old college student. I was walking around with airborne, t-shirts and shit. I was a pimp in college.
I'm too cool for this place.
Yeah. So
you don't really look that old, though.
No.
People are going to watch us. And
so
be
you're
like,
at 25 and you're
guy?
able to play college hockey?
Yeah.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah.
How many years did you play hockey for?
Just a couple.
Okay.
Yeah.
Either way.
Yeah. I wasn't very good. I didn't play a lot, but I still made the team. My buddy called me when I was an active dude. I didn't know what the fuck was going on. Knew I wanted to be a Green Beret, but then he's like, come down and try out for the team. Just walk on, bro. And I did. Made it.
How much time do you serve in the penalty box?
Lots.
Okay.
Yeah, I was a big kid. That's what I enjoyed that. I enjoyed the penalty box. You know?
Like, oh, well, I'm having fun.
Yeah.
I've been a bad boy.
Yeah, I was a bad boy. But it got me laid a lot. Earmuffs, babe. I know my wife's in the studio audience. Live studio audience, folks. But she knows the stories. There was one time these two girls were talking about Wookiee. That was my name in college. I had long hair. And
what do they call the hockey chicks in Letterkenny?
Puck bunnies?
Puck bunnies.
Yeah.
Yes.
So it just happened to be family night. My folks came. They were living in Texas, and they came up to watch a game. And my mom was sitting behind these two girls. And they're talking about Wookiee, and they had said something that really just offended my mother, and she probably didn't need to know about. My mom just tapped one on the shoulder and leaned in between them and was like, "I'm Wookiee's mother."
And yeah, that's my son.
And they immediately just bounced up and skedaddled.
Was your dad there?
Pug Bunny hopped
Yeah.
right out
He
of
was
there.
like proud though.
Oh, he was a very proud man. Yeah,
That's my Wookiee.
yeah, yeah. But to this day, though, I don't know what was said, and I can't remember. There was never a menage a trois, if you will. But apparently, I knew both of the girls, and I mean,
You knew them that well, huh?
no, I didn't. But apparently, I did because
They knew your mom.
Yeah, my mom was like, "I just don't want to repeat it. I can't believe you would do that." And I was like, "Damn, what? Like, what did I do anyway?" So I digress.
Them good old days. Okay, so Boise, you have a little fun, do some weird shit.
Yeah, went back in the Army, became a Green Beret. Went to Iraq first as a regular medic, and then went to the Q course after a little stint in Iraq.
What's Q course like?
It's just you're always being assessed. You're just there to become a Green Beret. Go through the process of attrition, if you will, because you can get kicked out at any time, fail. It was. I don't know how to explain it. It was just.
Were you ready for something like that?
Fuck yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't fail.
Did they fuck with you?
Oh yeah, all the time. Yeah, immediately as soon as I showed up. Remember the guy, the TAC, the Vietnamese dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was on my. Yeah, he was a dick. But
I
I
would
love him.
probably like enjoy that. I would find some like comical value in this Vietnamese guy just talking shit to me the whole time, like trying to find a word. I would feel like Mr. Miyagi was coaching
Right?
me.
Yeah. No.
You will never make it here.
And that, yeah, I mean, and the thing was, is that after he got done telling me, like, you're going to be in a fucking 18 Echo, get the fuck out my office. I went outside and was standing there with my hands in my pocket, hat kicked back, thinking I was already the shit. And he saw that through his window. I was standing there with a bunch of other Green Berets, but he saw that and he immediately came out of that building and beeline and was like, Sergeant Wilson, get your fucking, just going after me, hands in my pocket. And I had one more fuck up and then I was out of there.
He had you right where he wanted you.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I had pissed him off, but it all worked out. And sadly he passed away in Iraq. He deployed immediately after his time as attack while I was still in the Q course, and we got word that he was killed.
Now I feel kind of sad now.
Yeah, but
Mr. Miyagi died.
but we sign up for that. We know that it's a possibility, and I know too many guys that were killed doing what they love. But in saying that, I mean, the Q course, it's just about just keeping your head forward, leaning forward in a foxhole, if you will, and one foot in front of the other, and just. There's an educational, like a classroom aspect to it as well. To become an 18 Echo, you're going through your phase 2 small unit tactic stuff, and then you go to your class, to learn how to use the radios and the satellites, how to set up satellites, how to do antennas, in the middle of a jungle antennas, with what you have or
How
what
do
you
you do
don't
a
have.
jungle antenna?
Man, all sorts of shit. I can't tell you, it's top secret, but no, we would tie.
It has to do with the birds because
Right.
they're all robots.
Yeah.
And they're actually government antennas in the forest.
Man, we would just take this, it's like looks like wire, if you will, and we would tie it to a canteen and chuck this canteen up as high as we can with a little bit of water in it and swing it, and then just get that shit up into the as high as you can and hook it up to the radio. Can't say the nomenclature of it. Top secret radios. It's not like radios that you would use. In
I
the
mean,
radio.
I've seen people shoot crossbows and stuff like way up into trees, like to get a rope up there.
Yeah, but we don't have a crossbow. We have our canteens. There's ways to do it. We Green Beret that shit.
It's a can and a wire. It's very high tech,
Yeah.
sophisticated, top secret.
Never know where you're gonna be,
Is
man.
there a part of your
American-
training where you have to take this canteen and this wire and like, all right, here we go.
yeah.
Oh, fuck. Like how many?
Oh, but there was a lot of fucks. Yeah.
How many of those?
Dude.
I threw it 50 yards that way.
Or behind you. Some dudes
Or
just couldn't
thicket,
figure it out. Yeah.
you know?
Yeah, no, that's
There's
yeah.
a jaguar over there. We just found the canteen. I'm
Yeah.
gonna give it a minute.
But we're doing shoot. It's called shooting. We would make these shots down to Florida from North Carolina, or talking through a fucking tree. Like you can take a nail and nail it into a pine tree and hook up this particular type of radio to it and make a fucking call to Florida, and hopefully it gets down there. It's
That's pretty fucking cool.
yeah. Or I've done stuff across the globe. I'm in one like Africa and
With a
talking-
nail in a tree.
No,
Oh.
different stuff, satellite stuff now. But I'm in Africa talking with this tiny little satellite that I can pack in my backpack, and I'm talking to people in North Carolina. It's kind of cool. So yeah, all kind of stuff. The communication side, it seems nerdy, but it's pretty high tech and
That'd be cool if you could take some of that stuff home with you.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah. But and some guys get into the ham radio, so they're such nerds. But I
Well, if
say
you
that with
got a
all the
little
love in my heart.
Backpack satellite dish you can just whip out in the middle of Africa.
Yeah.
I mean, that's pretty handy.
Yeah.
So when did you start like jumping out of airplanes and shit?
Well, I was in the regular Army. I was an airborne medic, so I was
that's
501st as an airborne unit. So as soon as I came in the Army, but I didn't get into military free fall until I got to Special Forces, until I got to 10th Special Forces Group. Yeah, and then I went to Halo School in Yuma, Arizona, started doing my thing and jumping out of planes, and spent 90% of my time on free fall teams. So a couple of them.
That's such a rush, I bet.
It is. It's awesome. Imagine walking to the edge of, this table, but you're 14,000 feet up in the air and looking down, and
I think from that height, you definitely have enough time to shit your pants and get over it.
So, yeah, yeah, absolutely. And actually, from that height is where you want to be, because if there's a fuck up, you have all that time.
Oh, yeah.
Free fall to fix it. If you're entangled in something or whatever, you have time to lay on your back and untangle shit and then flip back over if you can. And
Did they have any kind of training of what to do should your chute completely fail and you are a falling rock?
Well, I mean, if you think about it, there's 3 opportunities to survive. You have your main, your reserve, and then your Cypress system, which will fire out. It's like a little blasting cap, if you will, and go pew, make sure that your reserve is fired out. If all 3 of those fail, then you're fucked. And I've seen that, and I've actually had a buddy who did not survive an accident of that caliber. But
I've heard stories of people falling from like those ridiculous heights and like somehow
bouncing,
and then they live.
Yeah, I've seen a dude jump from 2,000 feet and live. He landed in snow with a snivel, or his canopy. This is a static line, so that your chute's pulled for you from the airplane.
Yeah.
Yeah, his canopy looked like a cigar or cigarette.
Yeah.
It was just like, and he hit the ground, but he lived. It was a bunch of snow on the ground though. It helped him. He was fucked. He got out of the Army.
A lot of broken bones.
Oh yeah. Then I was a medic at that point. That was like one of the times I just questioned my medical integrity, like, or know-how. I was just like, I'm not gonna be able to save
You're a
this
little
guy.
too broken for me, buddy.
Yeah. So, but he lived. So I did well.
Gold star.
Yeah. And so free fall, it's a great time. Free fall school in Yuma, Arizona. And then
Well,
did
back to
on
that
the
story.
teams.
Should all 3 of those things fail, like what are you supposed to do?
Pray.
Pray
Yeah.
and curl
Yeah.
into a ball?
Yep. Get close to God.
Well, I hear like you're supposed to like hit back first. Tuck your chin back first because you got a big old slab of meat.
Right.
If you have any chance of living, yes, your ribs are going to break from your vertebrae.
Imagine going terminal velocity, your speed. It's a whole mathematical equation. Your speed.
It's terminal velocity. You're going to reach a point where you ain't going any faster than you're going to go.
And when you hit the ground, I assure you're not going to live. So I have no idea how these people have lived, because you have broken everything in your body, and your body looks like
Sack of Jello.
yeah. It's no bueno. And
You probably won't want to live, should you live.
holy Jesus, I can't imagine living through that. Fuck, I had a hangnail once, and I thought about committing suicide. No, I'm kidding.
Didn't you you got injured on a jump once, right?
I did. It my canopy, it had opened. It was a night jump. We were in Yuma, Arizona on a training mission in preparation for a possible combat jump in Iraq that we were going to go do. And it was, I had already opened, was flying. I was leading the stick, leading the guys behind me, and had turned on final. So anything below 500 feet, you're on your final pretty much. No more turning needs to happen. You can't do any emergency procedures if something should go wrong. And I was on final, and I told the boys that. They were behind me, and then all of a sudden, the right side of my canopy collapsed, and I immediately started spinning. And didn't have time to tell anybody anything, because I immediately, my mind, my body, everything just went into emergency procedures for climbing the riser, which, is something you kind of learn in static line, where you grab the riser and you start climbing or shaking the chute and to get that bad boy to open back up, but it didn't. So I just saw, dark light, and smack the ground. And
How high was this from? I mean,
so I had just
less
turned
than 500 feet.
Less than 500 feet. So I don't know how. I think that chute likes to go forward at 13 miles per hour. And so I don't know how. And I always consider myself a heavy drop. I was a big boy, so I don't know how high it was, but
Did you tuck and roll?
no tuck and roll.
It was all
Skadoosh. Yep. And hit the ground. But I had partial lift from the left side of my canopy.
Not bad.
Yeah, so there was partial lift, and I was kind of spinning. So when I hit, I don't know how I hit really. I just know that I woke up, felt like something was in my back. I thought I was speared, and I was screaming obviously, and there was just flashlights in my face, and people. There was already a fentanyl lollipop in my mouth because I tried spitting it out, and I remember like, no, leave that in there.
That's nice.
Those are amazing.
I don't want to find out.
God, they're addictive. I was like, we got any more of them fentanyl lollipops? There's a picture of me strapped down to a gurney and all that stuff in the hospital. I think already being, they flew me to Phoenix from Eloy, Arizona, which I don't know how far that is. But anyway, I remember I was like doing the hook 'em horns thing.
Yeah.
Fucked up, but on fentanyl lollipops.
Government issued fentanyl lollipops.
Yeah, so that medic, he knew what he was doing. He stuck that shit in my mouth right away when I was kind of unconscious. So it's a little sponge, kind of like this microphone, with fentanyl, and they just put it in between your teeth and your cheek, and it starts to soak in immediately.
So your just whole body goes numb.
Yeah. But I felt like I was impaled by a fence or something. I had no idea. And man, these dudes were just holding me. My legs hurt.
So what had happened?
The right side of my canopy. So we think
to your body.
Oh, lots of stuff.
You weren't impaled by a fence, were you?
No, but I broke my back and I had disc replacement surgery. So I had spinal cord compromise as well. This is the killer, man. Ooh, one of the worst pains ever is when you start to get feeling back in your legs or your dick. And I was in the hospital, and the nurse, rather attractive looking nurse,
nurse my dick.
Yeah, she was playing.
Won't stop throbbing.
It was like day one or something. I was just kind of groggy or whatever, but she was playing with my wiener because I had a Foley catheter in. And
I didn't expect the word catheter to come after that, but keep going.
Yeah, but she was playing with my wiener, had a catheter in there, and me being the former medic that I was like, oh God, I know those to be painful. And I said, I'm not trying to be a pervert, but I did not. Did you just play with a Foley? And she's like, yeah. I was like, can you please do that again? She did it again, and I didn't feel it at all. I was like, fuck, I can't feel you playing with my wiener. And
Stephen Hawking had it better than you.
Yeah, he did, but he also went to Epstein's Island. I did not. But yeah, so I could not feel my left leg. I had spinal cord compromise, so there was a lot of swelling and a lot of pressure on my spinal cord, and it was anyway. Long story short. When the feeling starts to come back after the swelling goes down, it's like fire ants all over your ball sack and your wiener and your legs. Lord, it was brutal.
You should have just taken niacin during that whole time.
Well, I was on Dilaudid and a morphine drip. I mean, I was on a lot of shit laying there in that bed. And
but fire ant balls, despite all of that?
Yeah, it was horrible. It's horrible. I don't think the Dilaudid and the morphine affects your balls or...
I don't think you would be in the greatest of moods having fire ant balls.
I wasn't. I was pissed. But I was also happy because I knew that shit was starting to come back. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it really wasn't that bad, but it was an uncomfortable feeling. But I was also happy because I was like, okay, good things are happening.
Like you're not dead.
I'm not dead. Yeah. And my spinal cord, I'm going to be able to walk.
Yeah.
And your wiener does work.
Yeah. My wiener works great. Doesn't it, babe? Anyway, at least for 10 seconds, we know.
Cheers. So was that like your last sort of hurrah?
No, I mean,
that was
you
really
went back
nice.
for more?
I went back for more. Yeah. If you've ever jumped out of a plane and you like adrenaline and you'll jump back on that horse and get back up there. And I did. Was I scared shitless? Yeah, I was. I was worried about that landing. And actually what's funny is that I was talking to my wife about it today because I'm going to go to Normandy for the 80th anniversary this June and jump, just it's the 80th anniversary and these guys are just disappearing. And anyway, you just get back up on that horse. You can't not, you know what I mean? It just felt like failure to me. So I had to get back up there, and it's a wonderful feeling to jump out of a plane.
Did someone just not pack your parachute correctly? Or
No.
What
So we
was?
think that we hit. There's an investigation that happens.
Of course, it's got to be.
Yeah, and everything was tippy top. The chute was fine. Everything was fine. So dust devils, you want to steer clear of those. They don't necessarily happen at night for the most part, but that's what we think happened was a night dust devil.
That's like a swamp gas kind of an explanation, don't you think?
Yeah.
There was a dust devil and you didn't see it.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, because it was night, And you know what's crazy?
It could have been fucking aliens and you didn't see it.
Right. That's true. And yeah, those fucking aliens. Didn't think
It could have been a troll with a pair of scissors and you didn't see it.
That's right.
Like, this.
Well, nothing
don't
was
blame
cut.
it on
We know
invisible phantoms.
Right. Well, I mean, still, I mean, I guess you can say we have no idea. We just know that, and there was guys on the ground that from Bravo Company that were there. We were Charlie Company. We were together training. They saw it.
They watched it.
They watched it. Yeah, because where I was landing, there were some lights, and
They weren't down there like a bunch of cartoon clowns with a trampoline trying to catch you.
No, I never thought about. Did these guys sabotage me? I thought
These
about
guys
this.
didn't give a fuck. I'm falling to my death over here.
That's a good question, Charles Chitwood, if you're listening.
He had those lollipops though.
Yeah. Oh, Lord.
At least they could do. At least they could do is come quick with the fentanyl lollipops.
Yeah, if we could get some of those, that'd be better than doing cocaine here. No, kidding. We're not doing cocaine. Cut that out.
We did have a hell of a little intro.
Our pregame
A
intro.
little pregame, yeah, or
I enjoy
warm up.
that. That's probably the best intro, and I've been on a handful of podcasts. That was the only cool intro I've ever done.
Well,
You gotta have a trailer for
I
the
mean,
show.
like warm up, like
Yeah,
in the studio.
it was phenomenal.
So we've been kicking around this idea of the old beaver butt.
Yeah, it was here.
Yeah.
Do
We
I
should
need-
pull it back out and just kind of investigate. So
I think I left it in the other room.
yeah,
But
Max can go grab it.
if not, maybe I have it.
So explain this beaver butt and how you got it. And why?
Yeah, the why.
What's the why? That's the big one.
Well, because Joey Savage, that's why.
Yeah.
Okay. Once upon a time in my career, I learned that many natural flavors come from the anal glands of a beaver, which is called Castorium, named after the Castoroides genus of beaver and beaver-like creatures, which is like this whole genre of animals that create a type of musk. And I would assume skunks, which are probably related, also have anal glands similarly that can be used for culinary purposes, let's just say.
Who found this out? Who's the
I
first
don't-
man?
Probably some French fur traders or something.
Yeah, like I'm gonna lick this fucking.
I don't know who would. All right, so
Hey, can you go get the cutting board and the
just grab a pair of those tweezers.
The whole
because I don't know
incision
if I
kit?
want to touch this directly.
No, it smells like anatomy and physiology class, straight up.
Now, see,
formaldehyde.
this didn't click with me first. I was like, that's an interesting smell. And two people that are here is like, that's definitely formaldehyde, which checks out. You know, if you are harvesting the anal glands of beavers, you probably want to soak them in formaldehyde. But if you're going to use, first of all, whoever's selling this and soaked them in formaldehyde, how am I going to get my natural flavor out of this? I mean, like, I thought that's
okay,
what this
one,
is for.
who's selling it and why were they selling it?
So I don't know why,
And
but I was
you
able to find
searched it. You found that.
Yeah,
You found it.
and I would assume that it's coming from fur traders. I mean, they're scalping the beavers and harvesting these things that look like scrotums. This looks like a scrotum of some poor fella that they
I really like your sweaty balls.
They're dehydrated.
They're a little salty too. They're not very dehydrated.
I know. It
Touch
looks like
these.
when you cut it open.
Just touch it with your fingers.
Ugh.
You may have
Squeeze it.
regrets. Squish.
They look like large dates.
Yeah.
Want to squeeze these
I
dates?
touched it earlier.
All right,
Ooh,
good.
ooh.
Yes.
Ooh, I smelled
So-
it. Ooh.
There is a
man a
scent of
quaff.
formaldehyde, but the other thing is like it is incredibly musky. I
I can
was
smell it from here.
Yeah.
gutsy enough to actually ingest some, and there are
I think you
like
should do a little bit again.
Right, there's some right there. Just grab that
Just a
one.
little bit.
there's like 12 different flavors in this stuff. It's more like, and one of the things I was saying is it kind of reminded me of Fruit Loops, and I would assume, and I was asking the question, I was like, so did they flavor and color each of the individual Fruit Loops, or are they really all the same thing? Because when you're eating a bowl of Fruit Loops, you're like, oh, there's the lime, there's the cherry, there's
No
the
one-
orange.
no
It's
one-
like
no one
M&Ms.
does that.
I only
No
eat the
one
green
does that.
M&Ms because they're lime, right?
Yeah. But apparently it's like all the same flavor. And even like a natural vanilla can be sourced from Castorium or the anal glands of a beaver.
That's where they get the flavor of Dr. Pepper from, huh?
Probably.
That's why. That's the 23 flavors.
Oh my God. That's probably exactly it. So this is a cottage industry. There are
No
people,
shit.
the people who do this live in cottages.
Jesus.
By the river where the beavers are. This is United States domestic beaver. I have
American.
another one that is coming from Russia. And what I wanted to do is I wanted to do a side-by-side flavor comparison, Russian beaver anus to domestic beaver anus.
One's going to taste like vodka. Vodka.
Something, right? I would expect that the diet of the beavers in Russia might be a little bit different. These guys get to eat fucking McDonald's and French fries,
Right.
you know, so it affects their glands.
They're probably full of MSGs.
But you can also get the glands of a badger, or like I was talking about a skunk or an otter, anything in like the weasel family, wolverine.
People will sell
anal
anything.
glands. Whoever's getting the furs is getting these butt glands and making natural flavors out of it.
Obviously, someone's buying them.
So the majority of like
Joey Savage.
I'm the idiot that there's little Riri again.
Oh man, here I'll shut her off. 7 o'clock on the dot.
Is
She's
that a
ready to go.
Roomba? Should we have them sponsor this podcast?
What does that mean?
I've got.
It's
a-
his automatic
I've got a
vacuum
Roomba.
for the studio.
Oh, I thought that was time. That was an alarm to.
So anyway, we're all sitting there and we're playing quarters, and we were going to be eating pieces of this, and you know, I stepped up.
You did.
I stepped up and took a piece.
Well, we all Googled formaldehyde, and then that's when I think me and Trav were like, maybe I don't want to die today.
When the person
enzymes
Googles
that
it
can break
says,
that
everything
down.
I'm reading says death,
Yeah.
you tend to, you know.
And then Joey grabs a little bit and puts it in his mouth.
Finally,
Yeah.
fragrant secretion comes out of the beaver's anal glands, and perhaps surprisingly has been food safe for more than 80 years.
Wow.
So at the end of eating it, it actually kind of tastes like a leather shoe.
I like the smell
But
and
my
taste of
question
leather.
is, why did they soak it in formaldehyde? Because I know that's formaldehyde.
Fucking ruined it.
Yeah.
Maybe the ones that are coming from Russia don't have formaldehyde. I
No.
hope they don't.
Yeah.
No, it's going to be soaked in vodka.
So
Vodka.
we'll get a mulligan on the beaver anus to hopefully get, you know, some real Fruit Loopy ones.
I want to be on that podcast.
We
again.
tried, guys. We tried.
Yeah.
And we wussed out. Not Joey, though. So if he's dead.
We will do this again. We will get us some. And if there's anyone out there listening and you have access to proper Castorium beaver anus, let us know. And hopefully we can get that
You're
sent
going to have
overnight.
1,000 emails. Like, there's going to be so many people that fucking
Heard you
beaver-
like beaver ass.
we want to get to the bottom of it.
I got a possum beaver or a possum ass for you.
Oh my God. Castorium is a substance that is collected from the glands of Canadian, European, and Siberian beavers. People take castorium for anxiety, restless sleep, and as a calming agent.
Well, they didn't say anything about American beavers.
Wait a
When-
second. Collected. Okay, I thought it said it was controlled. I was like, fuck, man.
Yeah,
did
but
I
it
just-
says Canadian, European, and Siberian. You said that was American. You got fake shit.
Yeah. You got that.
Yeah.
Maybe
Got
these are
that boo boo
someone's
beaver
testicles.
butt. That's
But
that boo boo beaver butt.
I do have the.
That's that bunk shit.
You got to check Etsy. If you check Etsy, Eduardo, you will find a plethora of these. But we've got the, I guess Russian is the Siberian one that's
How
on the
much
way.
did you pay for that?
About $40.
You seriously looking up Etsy for Castorium beaver? Oh my god!
Bingo.
What in the
Whoa.
$11? You paid $40. That's $11. You got ripped.
It's probably by the pound, I would assume.
Yeah.
They sell a tincture called Obsessed as Fuck.
Well, this looks like dried up ball sacks.
It really does. It really, really
Oh, and
does.
it's all. Oh god. Yeah. So I will say that when you're going through the Q courses,
5
a lot of-
stars, always dependable service, item as described.
It smells fantastic.
I've eaten a lot of weird shit in my life, but never will I eat beaver butt.
These reviews are remarkable.
You could have done it.
They're full
tonight.
of shit because it does not smell fantastic.
Animalistic scent.
That's called formaldehyde, folks. Oh, look at that one.
I think that's the one I got.
Siberian-
Minnesota. Yes, the Minnesota one. And yes, they have beavers.
Look at the size of the Russian one. Whoa.
Well, that's the other one that's on the way.
Yeah.
We have beavers in Texas. Like, there are American beavers.
My finger still smells.
Air dried weights are the same. Or
Haven't you ever stuck a finger in a butt? It's going to smell for a
5
while.
stars, exactly what I was looking for. That's got to be.
this is bullshit. How come nobody's saying anything about the formaldehyde?
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, it's out
I
there.
had a good experience doing business with Mike. He is very attentive and helpful.
What are they using these beavers for? Like, what are they using it for other than flavor?
The fur.
No, I mean like this, the beaver butt.
I don't know what these people are doing. I feel like the castorium is, a side product, a waste product of the rest of the beaver. What are they doing with the whole rest of the fucking body? They're taking the pelts and God knows what they're doing with the tails. Probably making shoe soles out of them.
Does it have like high in fats?
The tails? Mm-hmm. I don't know, the big, fat, flat.
I think it's just all fat. You can make like oil out of it, right? Render it.
So I have a story about beavers. I used to have a shitload of dogs when I lived in the country because random stray dogs, they'd walk up and, breed with the dogs there, make puppies and all this stuff. So one day in the early morning, I go down to the creek and what do I see? But a mama and a whole bunch of baby beavers all together, and they're getting fucking sticks, and they make a dam and a lodge, and like it was a magical moment. I told my dad. He told me I was full of shit. Nobody fucking believed me, and no one went down to the creek to fucking check until about 4 weeks later when my pack of dogs come up to the house with a goddamn beaver tail in their mouth. And I'm like, I fucking told you guys we had beavers. And
Not anymore.
Not anymore, though, because the dogs got to them.
I got to piss real quick. Sorry. I
All
drank
right.
2 bottles of water.
Do we want to take a commercial break?
Let's take a commercial break.
Oh, appreciate it.
We'll be back after these messages.
Nice.
This segment is brought to you by Alpha Elite Performance Outdoors, an impactful initiative dedicated to well-being of our special operations veterans. Through adrenaline-fueled outdoor activities, AEP Outdoors commits to the healing and camaraderie of these brave individuals. At the heart of AEP Outdoors is a proactive approach to veteran support. By blending the natural therapy of the outdoors with outpatient therapy, they offer a practical solution to the challenges veterans face, fostering recovery and reconnection in the process. The outdoor activities curated by AEP Outdoors are more than just adventures. They are a foundation for building a supportive community where veterans can find understanding, healing, and mutual support in their journey towards recovery. If you're moved by the mission of AEP Outdoors and want to contribute to this life-changing cause, you can make a donation directly on their website. Your support can help extend the reach of their programs, offering more veterans the chance to experience the healing power of nature and fellowship. To learn more about Alpha Elite Performance Outdoors and to make a donation, visit aepoutdoors.com. Your contribution can make a significant difference in the lives of those who've served. Join us in backing this noble initiative where adventure meets healing. We're back. All right, Travis, how was that piss?
Oh, it was good.
Believing.
So let's catch back up on your story. So when do you transition into civilian life? What's that like? And then did you immediately become a business owner, or was there a gap in between?
What was the psychological effects of just getting out and be like, oh, fuck.
Man, you know what? My transition story, and I talk about this, I actually get asked to come speak at events or, other nonprofits on transition or just my story. Because there's more to my story than having a parachute accident and dying. I've been blown up a couple times, saved a guy's life on my team. There's, I don't have the story where I lost my limbs and things like that, but I've had 13 surgeries, fake knees already, ankle reconstruction, disc replacement on my back, elbow, bicep, shoulder, pretty much standard for most special operations guys.
You're basically a bionic person.
Sure. Brain treatment center for 8 weeks to fix that, and multiple rounds of stem cell therapy, which, I'm a huge fan of.
Well, that's how you grew after you got out.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Cord blood stem cells, ethically harvested, mind you. But there was a time that I thought I was going to get kicked out for medical reasons. But I did everything that I needed to do to not get kicked out. A lot of guys will just roll over and say, fuck it, I'm getting out. But I didn't want that to happen. So worked my way back on to the teams, believe it or not. And still that kind of didn't work out because I wasn't keeping up, with the young dude. I was older at this time. And so I started a business.
How old were you at this time?
30. It's kind of like being in the NFL. Once you hit 35, that's pretty fucking old. So I was around there. But I started a business called Caliber Nutrition and Fitness in Colorado Springs, selling other people's products. First Form was one of the first ones that I started selling. I think I was their 4th retailer. And then selling a bunch of other people's.
It's pretty exclusive.
So this is a nutrition store, a supplement store.
Yeah, supplement store. And then it turned into because we were large enough that we had a small gym in there, and we had some personal trainers that would sell the packages that, we would write up. And so it became, Caliber Nutrition.
It's kind of like a one-stop shop where you've got personal training
and supplements.
They're in cahoots with the supplements. You know what stacks to build immediately.
Sure. But I don't think that, so you know how you always fail when you're starting a business.
Sure.
One of my failures was not capitalizing on that. I made money off the personal trainers and hoping that they would promote the products. And they did, but they weren't salesmen in that aspect. They were just there to sell,
their training,
physical fitness training. And I made money off of that, and paid them. But anyway, I digress. I started that company when I was still active duty. And then I helped build a bigger gym in Colorado Springs called Fit 365. Sold all that to start my own line, Alpha Elite Performance, before I retired. And that helped my transition out of the Army because I started to make a plan. A lot of guys don't have a plan when they get out of the Army. And sometimes they're not even afforded that opportunity to have a plan. There are guys who are medically discharged and like, okay, you've got so many days to turn your shit in and you're out.
Thunk.
And it mind fucks them, you know? But so I always talk about, you know, having a plan and where to start with that plan and getting out of the military, whether it be, you know, talking to the VA or the DAV, which is a nonprofit that helps these guys square away their medical. Because a lot of times, well, when you get out, if you've done anything in your career, you're going to be fucked up. If you spent one day jumping out of planes, you hit the ground hard, you're fucked up. There's something that has happened to your body. So a lot of these guys, I've had a guy, a warrant officer, I won't say his name, but he hit me up at an event and he said, Travis, how are you doing so well? Like, what did you do to prepare? And this guy had been out like 2 years already and he still hadn't had his disability. And that disability can kick in 3 months after you get out, which is wonderful. It's a good paycheck on top of your retirement if you've served 20 years longer.
Yeah.
And so, you know, sadly, you know, the Army does its best to help these guys transition, and everybody blames the Army for their weak transition. But if you have any intestinal fortitude, which is a term that's used in the military a lot, or smarts, if you will, to dumb it down, you'll start that transition, you know, 2 years.
While you're in, yeah.
While you're in, you start making a plan and you start writing down medically from head to toe, you know, what did you break or scratch or hurt while you were in the military? Start writing that shit down from the top of your head all the way down to your bottoms of your feet. And then there's a, you know, the ACAP process. I don't know what they call it now, but ACAPing is where they allow you for the last year of your career to start going through these meetings for resume writing, you know, job stuff, you know, things like that. There's even a new thing called Skill Bridge where you can hire some guys 6 months out of them finalizing out of the military. They can come work for you in you know, in whatever, you know, if you have to figure that out yourself, but they can come take pictures. They can take over Max's job or whatever, you know.
We have a guy who works with us who is doing a program like that where effectively like the military like kind of pays them
Skillbridge
during that time. Yeah.
Yeah, it's Skillbridge. Yeah. So it's wonderful. It's free employees for you.
Basically, yeah.
Yeah. And if it works out, you can offer them a job if they're worth a shit.
And that's what happened.
Yeah. Or they can go somewhere else. So
it's like their training is paid by the government.
Absolutely. Yeah. So, but I had that plan to get out of the military and I worked on it because I wanted my and I was also at this time I had just lost my father. I had gone through this horrific divorce, and I'm no shame in my game here. That was one of the worst things I'd ever gone through in my life was that divorce because you lose a family. I even had a son that passed away early on, but going through a divorce when you lose your family is fucking horrific. But I was doing that, losing a father, you know, starting my transition out of the military, and I think it's having a business and constantly keeping things
busy.
Yeah.
Having something to do.
Yeah.
Idle hands.
As opposed to drinking alcohol and doing drugs and, you know, sitting around watching porn. I did, you know, businessy stuff. So yeah, that was my transition out, was just having this plan and making sure that I implemented it. Been drinking tequila a little bit, folks. So,
so how did the supplement store go?
So
Get a little schwaller. Get a little schwaller. Make you
a little schwaller. You know, one day I just met this guy, this former Marine guy, and he was making supplements in Colorado Springs. Not really like bathtub supplements. They were, you know, the FDA would come and look at his facility and blah, blah, blah. And we just got to talking, and he helped me make this stuff that I call MPERC, Muscle Performance Endurance Recovery Complex.
Yeah.
And I know, and Joey's just like, what the fuck is this stuff? But it's wonderful is what it is. But it's, you know, deer antler, a little bit of green tea, and a little bit of creatine. And, you know, that's what I started with, and it kind of put me on the map for supplements. And then we got into Pipe Hitter, the pre-workout. The first edition of Pipe Hitter pre-workout kind of tasted like doo-doo, but it just amped people up. And that's really all that one was built to do, was just...
Stimmy.
Yeah, very stimmy. I was new in the industry. I was like, oh, stims are the shit, and that's all you need, you know?
It'll get you to the gym.
Yeah, it'll get you to the gym. It'll get you off your ass to do something, kind of like weight loss aids. So, yeah, and that's where Alpha Elite Performance and Alpha Elite Performance, and just to clarify, Alpha, ODA Alpha, the A-Team, remember that TV show, the A-Team? Green Berets. ODA is Operational Detachment Alpha. That's the team you want to be on in Special Forces.
Nice.
And then Elite Special Forces, and then Performance. We strive on performance. You know, if you can't perform, you know, at home in the sack or at work, then you're fucking fired. So
You're fired.
You're fired, baby. So that's where Alpha Elite Performance came from, AEP, and Yeah, and then we've just kind of grown from there. And I'm not gonna lie, I am not like a chemical dude or a formulator or whatever, but there's so many people in this industry that will help you to make these products. If you come up with the idea, they're out there to help you make these products. So it's been fun learning about the industry, learning about these products, and then kind of producing a product. For the guys that I work with, I don't want anybody to piss hot. So we're not gonna, we're not jamming our products with bullshit.
Yeah, it's all legit.
Yeah, for the most part. I mean, for the most part, yes, they are. And I say for the most part because there's just stuff that, I'm a huge protein, essential amino acid, recovery type stuff. I like my weight loss aids, my Alpha Ignite, my thermogenic. When I want to sweat, man, that's just it's awesome. So it's. Yeah.
So,
anyway.
So what are some challenges you're having and some successes that you have with Alpha Elite Performance?
Well, so I came in, how I started this company actually is just deployment money. A lot of those guys would go out and buy fucking, Camaros and race cars and stuff.
$80,000 truck. And,
yeah. So I saved my money, even after divorce, and put it towards business and business opportunities. And, I didn't have the millions that a lot of these guys have when they start a company like this, or I'm not an IFBB pro, and I came in during the social media. I didn't take advantage of social media like a lot of people did because it was new to me. And I was just like, what the fuck is social media? Screw that shit. But I think that was a failure, a huge failure, is that I didn't take advantage of social media when it first started with the supplement company. I was still the old school, like, we're going to send out emailers and mailers in the mail and, word of mouth, go to the gym. So huge failure. But, in all honesty, we do okay. And it's been nice because doing okay, I feel like I would have to work my ass off if I became, like the Andy Frisella. I got to spend some time with him and he's just like, fuck, dude, I liked it back in the day when I could drink beer with my people. But now I'm constantly working my ass off. And, when you become this multimillionaire company, which I would love to get to. That would be great, because we also take a lot of what we do and a lot of the profits and we put it into a nonprofit that we have, but also the Green Beret Foundation, in which I'm a huge...
like with your electrolytes over there,
Yeah, with my electrolytes. Is this my camera? Is this my camera one?
You got two. Camera right there.
Camera one, camera two, yeah. So our electrolytes there, we made this bag for the Green Beret Foundation. And if you guys buy this, 10% of the profits go back to the Green Beret Foundation.
So you're like an advocate for Green Beret Foundation.
Absolutely. I am the lead ambassador for the Green Beret Foundation, potentially doing some more things with them here in the near future. We have this partnership with this right now. But massive, I absolutely love our Green Berets and I love all the veterans. And that's why we have AEP Outdoors, our personal nonprofit, where we take guys on adrenaline outdoor adventure trips. Cabo, we took a gal to Africa to hunt 10 games plains animals. She ended up getting 7. And we do heli hog hunts in Texas.
Take people to Africa?
We do, man. That's why I'm so broke, because I love to give back.
Jesus.
Yeah, and but that's also one of my whys. Or, these people, a lot of these veterans get out, and they do the right things to get out, but they still have a lot of issues mentally and physically. And you asked, how was that transition? Was I fucked up? I went to the Brain Treatment Center and got some help because I did have a messed up head, and my wife will tell you that she noticed significant changes, but also the stem cell therapy that I also did for my entire body via IV.
That's going to repair a lot.
Yeah.
Just about everything.
Yeah, I mean, you seem like you're in pretty good shape.
Yeah, and I like to maintain that now. We're sitting here drinking, sipping on some alcohol, and that's about all I do is sip, if not at all, for a long time. We work out, we stay healthy, and that's really about it. I think occasionally I pray, and definitely don't eat anal glands from beavers. But
speak for yourself.
Yeah.
But that we give back a lot to both of these foundations because it does help a lot of these veterans that have the issues that not all of us have.
In time and in money.
Yeah, in time and in money. Yeah,
and it's a lot of fun. You get to have a lot of fun doing it.
Absolutely. And then on some aspects with AEP Outdoors, I get to spend time back in the brotherhood because there was that transition period where I really did feel lonely. I'm not going to lie. Dealing with you fucking civilians who don't know what the fuck I went through and can't speak to it.
I have no clue.
Yeah. And so we can't talk about things that I can talk about in front of these guys. So, you know, it's an opportunity for me to go hang out with these dudes, and we can talk about things that we can't talk about in front of you or our spouses. And it's campfire therapy. In Cabo last year, we have our Cabo trip coming up this June. Cabo last year, the first 3 hours, you know, SEALs, Marines, Special Forces guys, all Special Operations dudes. Special Forces, Green Beret, just so everybody knows, Special Forces, Green Beret. Special Operations is everybody else that are, you know, SEALs and stuff.
Spec Ops.
Yeah, Spec Ops. But we all fall under SOCOM. But the first 3 hours of that were so powerful for these guys.
I'm sure when you guys all get together, it's just a bunch of like blah, unloading.
It really is. We call that emptying the rucksack.
Yeah.
You know, you're carrying that rucksack around, and a lot of these guys carry so much in their rucksack, and they think that they can empty the rucksack through alcohol or other drugs. But some of the best shit out there is talking to other brothers. You know what I mean? Or sisters, because there's some females in Special Operations as well.
So is the Cabo trip already spoken for, or if people who are listening want to reach out and like become involved somehow, like how do they find out how to, like, for veterans to be involved with Alpha Elite Performance Outdoors?
So yeah, it is spoken for. We only do like the heli hog hunts that we do for veterans. The Cabo sport fishing fills up pretty quick because we only do about 11 dudes, and it's usually by word of mouth from guys who've already done the trip.
Okay,
and I ask of them, who would you send on this that you think really needs it? Because this isn't going to be a time where you show up and we're just going to fucking get drunk and have a good time and go to Cabo Wabo and shit like that. So
there's a mission.
Yeah, there is a mission.
So if you do want to reach out, go to aepoutdoors.com and you can find out more information there. Or if you want to make a donation to, you know, doing this and helping other veterans, you can also donate.
And we always look for sponsors as well. But with our heli hog hunts, you know, we look for guys. Civilians really like to, like, you know what? I want to get a heli hog hunt for these guys and then go on one myself.
Yeah.
And so if there's a sponsor out there that wants to pay for one, and we get them at a discounted rate,
sure,
they get to pay for it, and they'll get to go out with these Special Operations guys and just blast hogs out in the Central Texas
We're going to
area.
do one sometime this year.
Yeah.
Nutrimedia will do one.
So it's
I want to know about this Africa thing.
Africa. Yeah. So I like to hunt.
So it's one of my like life missions to eventually go to Africa.
How have you not been?
Because it costs like $10,000 to even get
you're
there.
talking to the wrong people.
Well, I'm sure you know some guys with your satellite phone that you can ring up.
Yeah, throw your can in the air, bro.
Well, if you get
tie a string to a fucking tree with the nail on it and hook me up.
If you get those tickets early enough, they're like, you can fly business class for like $4,000. All the way from here to Frankfurt, all the way down to Namibia is where we go.
Namibia.
Yeah.
So what city do you fly into in Namibia?
It is called, Emily, what's it called? Windhoek.
Oh, so it's a Dutch town.
Yeah, very like German occupied or Dutch occupied. Yeah, it's a lot of white people down there, and it's clean as shit. Man, it's so nice. I seriously, if I had money, I would buy a house down there.
Sweeping the streets so the elephants can walk through.
Man, I didn't see no elephants on the streets there, but I did see them where we were at. It's like 40. I got surrounded by elephants one time.
Okay.
I thought I was going to die.
You're hunting 10 things, right?
Yeah.
Can you name these 10 things?
Yeah. Kudu, Gemsbok, Springbuck, Impala, Warthogs. There's what else, babe?
There's 5 things. That's
yeah,
5 out of 10.
Gemsbok, Kudu, Warthog, man, Springbuck. Impala.
Have you brought back any of these things and been able to mount them?
Oh, blue wildebeest. I got a blue wildebeest.
You have a wildebeest mount?
It's not here yet. It takes a long time to get this stuff out of country, but my Impala is hanging in my office, and I got that the first time I personally went there by myself to hunt. And
that is fantastic.
Yeah, I have an Impala. I have a big old buffalo as well that I got here in Texas.
Cape buffalo?
No, buffalo.
Oh, buffalo, like bison.
Big old
American
buffalo.
bison.
Yeah, it's in my office, huge. If you need some meat, come to the house. I got 535 pounds is what I got.
Buffalo?
Yeah, buffalo. Yeah, but I have a blue wildebeest mount coming, but it hasn't even left Namibia yet, and we did this last August, so it's just now getting ready to leave Namibia. It takes forever.
So are there some guys down there in Namibia that are like taxidermists of Africa?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, but our taxidermists are we're having them shipped to Atlanta, and the taxidermist in Atlanta for the gal that we took. She's one of the first females recruited into Special Operations.
What do? They put them on ice and then put them on a boat, or
No.
They gotta like skin them and all that.
Yeah, they sit in like she got a giraffe, zebra. She got a giraffe and a zebra, and so those skins and stuff, they'll sit in salt. A lot of the skulls will be boiled down. They get a lot of work done before they even get here.
Yeah.
But then when they get to the States, there's a lot of paperwork, a lot of bureaucracy, a lot of
documentation.
Yeah. that before they get here.
Can you imagine how obnoxious a giraffe mount would be in your house?
Yeah, it's like a Christmas tree.
Does it stick out or does it stick up? I don't know.
They always go
Depends
up.
on your ceiling.
Right? Yeah, they always go up. But
It takes a mega bolts
She
to
got
mount
a-
that thing.
big old bull, like that thing was big old bull.
Giraffe?
Giraffe. And a lot of people are like, oh, don't kill the giraffe. They're so cute. I assure you, if you go to Africa and you hang out long enough, you will be like, shoot that motherfucker.
He's
They're like
coming right for us.
Yeah, they're like squirrels, man. They run out in front of cars. They're worse than deer, and they're delicious. The first thing we ate, they're delicious. Blue wildebeest is probably some of the best meat you've ever had.
I'm
Yeah.
beside myself thinking
too.
about eating a giraffe.
Me too.
They're delicious, man.
I would have never thought.
I would rather ride a giraffe.
What's it
like
taste
a
like?
horse.
It tastes like beef. It looks like beef when you cut it. We had, as soon as we got there, we went and we had lunch and we were eating lasagna and it was giraffe lasagna and it was amazing.
Giraffe lasagna.
Yeah. And every night at this place, the food.
Talk about some fusion cuisine there.
Yeah.
Oh, buddy. It's amazing. It really is. And they don't mess around. Like the food there is delicious. Our cook was, where the fuck was he from? Germany, I think. It's a very German occupied country and it's delicious. So, but yeah, so,
LASAGNA. There it is. There it is.
lasagna. Yeah.
Is that her? Is that her and her giraffe?
No.
Were you there during that hunt?
Yeah. I was there. We were just on the way here talking about are we going to go this year, but because we're so busy.
Yeah.
So the gal that we actually took
Yeah,
last
what time of year do you go to Africa to hunt?
August.
August.
Yeah.
Is it hot there? I would
Cold.
imagine. No, it's
We're
cold.
they're below the equator. So like
Oh,
right
it's
now.
opposite day
Yeah.
down there.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So they're getting ready to go into fall, or I think they are. Yeah, they're about to go into fall as we go into spring. And then
so
we're
weird.
going to go for Christmas. We're thinking about taking my boys for Christmas to hang out with our friends who have this massive 288,000 acre ranch. And I say ranch, but
Good
it's,
Lord.
yeah, they've got the lions. I mean, you name it, it's all out there.
It's quite the backyard.
Yeah, hippos.
They'll kill you real quick.
Yeah, they've got it all. It's Africa. And elephants. I got surrounded by elephants one time after I shot a warthog. We had to go find him because those fucking things are amazing, and you can blow them up and they live. They're like cockroaches. And he didn't get very far, but got surrounded by elephants. My little guide was like, "You see that one right there? If that one charges, we are dead." And I was like, "What the fuck?" And I'm just like starting to film like, well, if I'm gonna die and I'm turning around slowly.
How big is a warthog in real life when you're about to?
They're big. Yeah, they're big.
Like how big? Like show me off the ground.
Off the ground. How about off this table?
Sure.
About that tall is all.
Like
But-
2 feet tall.
Yeah, but they're wide and long, and then their head. The head I have at my house, and so my wife likes to do skull art, and
Cool.
so the skull is seriously that long, and then but they have massive tusks, and then razor blade like tusks on the bottom, teeth,
Yeah.
and as opposed to the ones here in America, they're big, but their teeth tusks are smaller.
I had an obsession the other night where I'm sitting in bed, just thinking random thoughts, and I'm like, what if there was like a 7 foot tall pig that you just like come across in the woods? Like you're fucking dead. There's shit.
Matt, look up the biggest hog killed in the wild. Wait till you see this.
There
thing.
are prehistoric hogs. I looked into this that literally were that big.
Yeah.
They would just come up and just no second thought to your
Yeah,
life.
you're the kind of guy where your girl's laying next to you like, he's thinking about cheating on me. I'm like, no.
What
you're
if there were
thinking about
giant hogs?
Yeah, that's you.
He's the meme.
Yeah, look at some of these hogs on here, folks. I'm telling you, if you
Yee.
can go to the internet and type in like largest wild hogs killed, they're massive, massive. And I know in New Zealand they've got some of the biggest ones too. I think it was New Zealand, but yeah, look at that dude's got a saw, 249. Like he needed a squad automatic weapon to kill that big beast.
That was my next question: is what kind of firearm do you use to kill these different animals?
A big one. I don't know. Like I've shot him with a 30-06, 308, which is 7.62, 45-70. It's a large 45-70 will put him down. Oh, look at that one.
And
Look at that one right there on the back of that truck.
That's a fat one.
I would not want to walk around in the woods like, look at the
right.
squirrels, and then like this giant hog is there.
I just was on a hunt and got a beautiful deer out in Central Texas, but 60 massive pigs around.
Strolled up on you.
Yeah. There's a feeder
What do
there.
you do? Do you climb a tree like
Nah,
your
you just shoot.
ancient primate ancestors?
No, you just shoot one and they all skedaddle. Yeah. But when we go heli hog hunting, you brush them out with the helicopter. It hovers above the tree line.
Yeah.
And it just flushes them out. And so whatever side of the helicopter they're on, the helicopter we use holds 4 people, and you're essentially just hanging out the side of the helicopter.
Are you using semi-auto or full auto?
Semi, yeah, AR-15s with silencers on them.
Okay.
And but you're not even aiming. You don't want to aim when you're shooting from a helicopter at a pig. You're just leading into that pig you're just like, do.
Just watching your bullets and you're trying to get in front of it.
Yeah, and that's what you're doing. You're leading them. And we have plenty of ammo on that helicopter. We have a gal that sits in the middle and she's just feeding people magazines, as you're,
Now, you were telling me that you got into like the ammo business in a sort of way.
I did, yeah. No, in a sort of way, I make ammo, yeah. MutantMunition.com. I'm waiting on the ATF.
What was that website again?
MutantMunition.com.
Don't you have a supplement for it?
We do. We have a heavy metal detox through Alpha Leap Performance, but also our heavy metal detox through Mutant Munition, which helps reduce heavy metals out of the body. And we've actually sent it to people that have done their lead levels and heavy metals before and after. And that's on the approved list of supplements to use at the Special Warfare Center.
Are these the ones
schools.
with the tracers?
No. Is
that still in development?
No, we have. I mean, there are tracer rounds out there.
You told me you had rainbow tracers.
We have people that make them for us.
Okay.
And we can sell those, broker those. We don't personally make those. And right now, the only thing
Now,
that
if you're
doing,
brokering those, do you get color by the box or do you get random color by the box?
Just depends on what you
variety
want.
pack?
Yeah, I don't know. That's a good question. Variety pack, yeah. They're not
If you're
like
interested
condoms.
in getting colored tracer rounds, go to mutantmunitions.com and you can find out a little bit of information, send in an inquiry and see if you can get some little.
But right now, if you buy a heavy metal detox at mutantmunition.com, you get 20 free 9mm rounds.
What?
Full metal jacket, 115 grain, 20 rounds, comes in a white box.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Buy your supplements and get your ammo.
Yeah. You want a heavy metal detox?
How much is heavy metal detox on that website?
42. I
42?
think. Yeah.
And you get a free box of ammo? It's
20.
worth it for the ammo.
Yeah, 20 rounds, yeah. There it is right there.
20 rounds like
$45.99, sorry. If you buy the Mutant Munition by itself, yeah. So you're paying a little extra because of shipping. But yeah, so.
Cool label.
Yeah.
Did you do that?
No, Lizzie.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. Pretty neato.
I've never seen a supplement where if you order it, you get free bullets.
Max took
Yeah.
that picture.
Why doesn't anybody? I
Well,
mean,
quit giving people the idea. This is my shtick.
look, we are here to promote you.
I know. I
yeah.
appreciate it. I appreciate it. We're going to do this every Friday, right? Just Alpha League
Yeah, fuck
Performance
a
and
shaker
Mutant
cup. Send me 20 rounds of 9mm.
Yeah. So, but right now, so the reason why we're not selling the ammo, we were brokering other people's ammo, but now we're getting into our own because we bought 3 commercial ammo machines to make ammo.
Yeah.
But we're just waiting on the ATF to approve us. Now, State Department, man, we did all the paperwork for State Department so we can do international stuff.
You could get a government contract.
Buddy, that's what we're working on, man.
Really making that money.
Well, we've already been doing that.
The IRS will buy your bullets.
Yeah, the IRS, everybody will buy our bullets, we've already, it's a couple. So Alpha League Performance is just me and my wife, and Emily actually runs Alpha League Performance. She's just the bread and butter of that now.
I actually
Mutant
had a
Munition,
question about Emily.
Emily's wonderful. She's my wife.
Like, what's it like working with Emily? I mean, like,
You know what? This is a funny conversation. It's not funny at all. It's kind of boring because people would
should
think,
really turn the tables and be like, what's it like working with Travis?
Yeah. So that's another podcast. I say this all the time and had this conversation with somebody today. We have been together 24/7 for the most part since we met. After I retired, really. I did do a little shtick with 5 Finger Death Punch as their security manager.
oh shit.
What the fuck, man? You just pull these stories out of your ass.
He's
and
the
it's
most
like,
interesting
by
man
the
in the
way.
world.
Yeah. But after the 3 tours that I did with them, we were together 24/7. And it's
Wait,
wonderful.
you did 3 tours with 5 Finger Death Punch?
Yeah.
Who else was touring with you guys? Like, who were their openers and stuff?
Shine Down. Yeah, I mean...
Don't steal Emily's thunder.
the
Okay,
American.
I'm sorry. We're going to bring it back. But
Yeah.
okay.
So, and that was when we first got married. Were we married already? Yeah.
Did that get him laid? He's like, I'm working security for 5 Finger Death Punch.
I mean, look
No
at
big
him.
deal.
He's beautiful.
Man, I will tell you that I brought her on tour with me one time. And actually, Zoltan, I was just talking to him, he's the owner of 5 Finger Death Punch. Great guy. Awesome dude. His story is amazing. And how he started 5 Finger Death Punch and where he came from, a communist country. He's, a BJJ, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, black belt, He's a patriot, loves Americans, loves veterans.
Well, if he's a black belt in jiu-jitsu, what's he got you for security
He's
for?
busy. He's
Clearly,
busy.
he's in a
Yeah.
band.
Sometimes you just need a big dude who's good with a gun.
But now he's got a security element now that's just as badass. I think I don't know the guy's name, but he was an army dude and a badass fucking fighter. You know, Brazilian jiu-jitsu. I think it was Brazilian jiu-jitsu for him as well. I can't remember his name, but I want to give him a plug. But he's just as badass. I personally didn't like it for my own well-being.
Well, yeah, you're on the road all the time.
On the road. We were in Europe, and I called her. I was like, "Give me a fucking plane ticket out of here." I think it was in Austria. It was like, we just fired Ivan. We brought on Tommy Vex at this time. We had Phil from All That Remains. Was it the band All That Remains? Yeah, All That Remains. He filled in for Ivan on the American tour when Ivan. So I took Ivan to rehab and stuff like that
I heard
as well.
Phil play with Killswitch Engage one time in Corpus. He's fucking awesome.
Nice.
So Phil played in Corpus for Five Finger Death Punch.
Yeah.
He's great. He's a wonderful dude. He was a Marine for a hot minute, believe it or not. Not a lot of people know that. He doesn't tell anybody because I don't think he made it through basic training.
Well, he's
Something
only a hot
happened.
minute, so.
Yeah. But I just couldn't do it. Emily was on one of the tours, and she actually went home early because of the things that I had to deal with and things that she saw. And it is a rough life. It really is. And I won't get into details, but I was like, this is not for me.
It's constant.
It's constant. Physically, it's taxing. The hours that you keep, when you eat, when you don't eat, what you put in your body, mentally, what you see, what you don't see. I mean, you're away from a new wife, that is what I was going through. I was just transitioning out of the military, had a business that I was also dealing with.
You basically only up at night.
Yeah. So I was just like, dudes, I'm out. Peace. Helped out Ivan a little bit with taking him places afterwards. He had some addiction issues, and I just told Zoltan the other night that I would love to meet Ivan Moody from Five Finger Death Punch now today, because he was a completely different man than what he used to be, than what I knew him as,
But I feel like most of those guys go through that kind of thing.
One of the coolest stories, I was sitting with Ivan, Nikki Sixx, Motley Crue.
Yeah.
The guitarist from Guns N' Roses, and one other person in the back of a bus. And I'm just sitting there like looking at these people and listening to these stories on our way to the next venue, waiting for people, we were going to stop and let those dudes out so they can get in their own buses. But I was like, how do I get a picture of this? Nobody's ever going to fucking believe me.
No one will have, yeah. When you're in it, you're like, no one's
But it was
gonna believe
night.
this.
So and the back of the bus was lit up. And so, there was a glare off the window, and I was just like looking out this small little window like, oh, look at that. It's a unicorn or whatever. So I took my camera phone and was like taking a picture outside the window, but there's really the glare of these dudes sitting over the reflection.
Yeah.
And I sent it to my wife. I was like, you're never going to believe who I'm sitting in here with and listening to these amazing stories. And they're, talking about addiction issues and things like that. Deep stuff. They weren't partying. They were, it was deep. And I actually enjoyed that. But anyway, I digress. I did some Five Finger Death Punch stuff. And what was I saying before that?
We're talking about working with her?
your wife.
Yeah. And she's just, I would tell you that, I'm not blowing smoke up her ass. She's sitting right over there, but it's been a godsend, because I went through a horrific divorce, with a lady that is a good mother, but she and I, it was just
Didn't work.
Yeah,
Obviously.
yeah, but it's Emily is she has kind of taken the reins with Alpha Elite Performance, and she kind of drives it, manages it. She does some of the label designs, like on this Rally and Recover bag. She just does it all.
That whole thing worked out really well.
Yeah, it did. So a lot of props.
It's a good product. Tastes good.
It is.
When we were in Nashville, we were mixing that up with some vodka.
At the Rock the Green Beret.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was good. I liked it. I stayed very hydrated while drinking.
Yeah. I can't remember the company that actually makes this for us.
Me neither. I bet it tastes good, though.
It tastes amazing. It tastes amazing. It's pretty sweet for some people, but a lot of people prefer it, the sweetness over the saltiness. But yeah, it's wonderful. And we launched this in Vegas 2 years ago or last year. Was it 2 years ago? 2 years ago? Yeah, 2 years ago now, this weekend. And obviously all the
Let me
drunks
take a look at this again.
all the drunkies were
Let me remind myself of what's in here. Oh, yeah.
It's all right.
Magnesium, sodium, potassium, and zinc.
And
And vitamin C.
Yeah.
Yeah, a little immunity boost with your hydration, which is nice.
Yeah. So it's wonderful, and it tastes great, and people loved it. And the next day they were just like, oh my God, thank you for giving me that.
I would have died.
Yeah.
of dehydration otherwise.
Yeah. And only a couple are, let me ask you this. should kids be drinking that?
They totally can.
Yeah.
It's basically Pedialyte, right?
Yep.
It's just sweet as shit. But kids love that. I'm just not a super sweet guy. You know what? I'm a fat kid. I love cake, but when I drink super sweet products, I like them to be dumbed down or watered down for some reason. I don't
Kids
know.
love
Well,
sugar
the thing
and
with
sweetness, though.
electrolytes is like you can dilute to your satisfaction.
Yeah. And this one I do because it says 8 to 16 ounces of water, but I like it to be in that tall Stanley cup with a straw. I prefer
44 ouncer.
It might,
or
yeah,
32.
my pink one. I have a pink one that I use.
Very nice.
Yeah, it's bedazzled.
I believe it.
So, but yeah, working with Emily's amazing. She does a lot of work, and
Bless
it
you
allows
for
me to
being
do a lot
good
of other
partner
things.
in addition to being a good wife.
Yeah.
Emily's a lot of fun.
And something cool that a lot of people don't know, on the bottom of this bag, we had a little nuggets. So the mapping that's on here was actually maps from Selection, Special Forces Selection, 1999. The little squares on here were the huts that we stayed in. And then on the bottom, you'll see that it says, this bag can be used as an expedient chest seal device. So as a medic, we would, like you can take this, rip it open, and use a square of it. Like if you get shot in the chest, you can take and tape off 3 sides, or just leave the little corner open, or the part where everything's going to drain, so that when they inhale,
It'll suck.
It sucks to the chest, and then when they exhale, all the stuff that comes out and whatever, it'll bleed out through that little opening that you didn't tape. So you can peel this open.
Can you demonstrate this for us right now?
Give me a piece of paper. I don't want to waste the bag. Do you want me to waste the bag?
No, don't waste a bag.
So check it. I mean,
But
okay.
I'm bleeding from my chest.
Yeah, here's my phone right here. Look, this is the bag. I just split it open. It's a small bag. I got shot. Ouch.
So there's adhesive on there that works.
No,
for
there's
this.
no adhesive. You're taking tape.
Okay.
So like if you're out in backcountry or whatever and you get impaled by a tree limb or shot
or a
by
fence from a parachute jump.
or somebody shoots you because you're on their property. And your buddy's like, let me save your life, Bubba. And you tape off this top, this here, you just tape off and you leave this bottom part open so that the
You want to leave the bottom corner open.
bottom quarter open. Yeah. But so when you inhale, that the chances of it sucking into the hole, it goes to the hole so that you're not filling up air in that sac around the lung and stuff like that. But then all the bad boo-boo stuff, can exhale through that
That way
bottom.
you can bleed out the hole.
Right.
And your peritoneum is fine.
Damn, we just got some real life field medic.
Oh, there's so much of it.
Training.
I mean, think about it. I mean, you can go to medic school and learn all the medic stuff, but then there's also field medic, mountain survival training, things like that.
When shit hits the fan and we're bugging out, we got to find him. He's the medic.
Yeah.
Good thing he's right down the damn street.
Right. Yeah. And we are
Yeah.
almost to Civil War. So
Yeah, let's talk about that. I wrote this down. So,
Okay.
Civil War.
well, I mean, we're all Texans here, right?
Yeah.
I mean, where do you stand?
I stand with Texas. I stand with our government. I stand with,
What? Okay, let's talk about that dogma, because we were talking about this earlier. You're when you're serving in the military, maybe your leadership is not always leading the way that you want them to. Like, what kind of conflict does that have on a motherfucker?
well,
When that's your job, is to go out and
yeah, but
Sir,
if there's an unlawful
Defend the
order,
Constitution.
yeah, we all sign up to defend and support the Constitution. Our president did, but he's not doing that. Everybody in this administration signed up, to support and defend this Constitution, and they're not doing that. Protecting our borders is within the Constitution, and they're not doing that. And you just saw on the news tonight, I think, where it said that, okay, we're not going to force Texas to cut down the razor wire because Texas took a stand and said, fuck you, we're going to protect our borders. This is what we do. This is within our Constitution. And I'm right there with it.
It was interesting to see. I don't know if the federal government doubled back or if when they sent in the Border Patrol, be like, y'all cut that now. They're just like, no, we're not going to fucking do that.
what's this like? There's like this political.
They added more. Texas added more.
Yeah, it's like this political game of chicken that's being played.
Right. Absolutely. And
I mean,
we have one of the most corrupt governments I've ever been
Right-
a part of.
right now.
Yeah, right now. Right
yeah.
now. And I've served, it's fucking horrific. And I know active duty dudes right now that feel the same way that I do. They were forced that jab that they didn't like, and they're pissed off about it. But they do what they're supposed to do to stay in the military until they retire or get out. But then there are also unlawful orders, you can step up to. If you do, you're probably going to get kicked out of the military and whatever.
yeah, but let's say there's a line like this where there's definitely a line in the sand
Yeah.
in this type of situation. What do you think people would do?
I think that they're going to be on the right side of this whole situation. So people are pissed, and in our active duty military, majority of them are pissed. They're tired of the fucked stick that's in office right now. And I get to hear it because I still know a lot of guys that are in, and they're at that senior leadership level right now. I know people in the FBI that are tired of it, and people, you know, the FBI gets a bad rap, and because of their leadership. But a lot of the lower guys are just like, I'm almost fucking done. And I know some that have gotten away from the FBI because of that. It's all coming to a head, and if there's not this change in leadership, and Grant, I think I'm more middle of the road, but I'm also very, very pro-America, and I'm also anti-big government. Big government means you're not going to have shit. You know what I mean?
Take everything.
Yeah,
Take.
They don't want this middle class to even exist. You know what I mean? They just want the rich and they want the poor, and they want to control everything that you do by even by supplements. There was that time. Who was the senator?
I have a soapbox about this later.
Okay.
Yeah, well, but who was the actual Republican senator from Utah way back in the day?
Orrin Hatch.
Orrin Hatch, who was absolutely like, you know, I'm gonna.
God bless his soul. R.I.P.
I mean, well, but wasn't he against putting? You know, he wanted to regulate anything that went in your body.
Well, Orrin Hatch set up what is called the Dietary Supplement Health and Education Act of 1994, which basically sets up all the good manufacturing practices and all the rules about what can go into a dietary supplement.
Yeah.
Like he basically set out the first, you know, legislation of like how these supplements were going to be regulated. By the way, supplements are 100% regulated. How well that regulation is enforced is what the question is. Okay, that don't get it twisted. We are very regulated. The enforcement of that regulation is where there is a gap.
Gray.
Yeah,
It's gray.
Well, it's not that it's gray. Like in the law, it's black and white. But the enforcement of those black and white laws is really like the problem that we have today, because there's the Office of Dietary Supplements, ODSP, which is under the FDA, doesn't really have enough people to really go out and do like FDA audits of facilities and make sure that everybody's following the rules. They just don't have enough people or enough budget to hire enough people to go out and do that job in a way that is efficient. So they lean back on the industry to do what's called self-policing, which unfortunately, because everyone's too busy with their own shit, leaves a lot of room for bad actors and stuff to use the gray area ingredients or completely illegal ingredients for that matter.
Yeah, bathtub steroids. That's what I call that.
Or some things that are worse than that. Like the latest thing is this. I can't even pronounce it. I think it's called Tecojte or Tecojte Tecojte root or something, which was either contaminated or adulterated with yellow oleander, or maybe even it is yellow oleander, which is toxic as fuck. And yet it's being sold as a dietary supplement. There was a huge stink about it. And then the FDA, like, I want to say today, just put out like some guidance on like, hey, this is an illegal ingredient. And yes, it's a poisonous plant. Totally get it. Unless you're doing some sort of special extraction that takes all the poison out, and then there's like some potential benefit of this plant otherwise, yeah, it shouldn't be used. Should that plant be banned entirely? I mean, there's a lot of poisonous plants that are out there. And then in some cases you can, you know, extract the poison out of the plant, and there could be some medical benefit to the plant besides the fact that it's poisonous. I think that the law should be set up in a way where not an entire plant is outlawed, but if you don't extract it right, yes, that is outlawed. If you extract it to where you take the poisonous parts out and then the rest of the matter that is left over could be used towards something, sure, that's fine. I think the enforcement, you know, taking place on this, it's good to a degree. I think it needs to be thought out a little bit more because maybe there could be some benefit to this stuff, but you know, we're never going to find out now because they just carte blanche banned this thing.
Well, the enforcement is never consistent.
No.
That's where there allows to be corruption, because you can pick and choose who it is that you go after, and there's other people who just get the, you know.
Are you giving me the soapbox now? Is that what you're doing?
I'm not giving you a soapbox. It's just what it is. That's how everything fucking works. Like,
So-
some people get paid off. Some people have friends. Some people just don't see what other people are doing.
The current controversy
Yeah.
about this exact subject is around, we talked about this on previous podcasts,
Yes.
is something called NMN, nicotinamide mononucleotide. And I'm talking about it again because I got a wild hair in my ass the other day about becoming a political activist.
Well, we got some new advancements with this.
Yes. So
You and I.
we're in talks with the NPA, the Natural Products Association, to organize a very large fundraising campaign around, getting some legal funds set up so we can actually go and fight the FDA somewhat on NMN.
I wouldn't even say it's large scale, but it's more like
it's a call to arms from the industry in a very grassroots kind of way.
Yeah.
And we're going to end up doing some marketing where, we're going to campaign the whole month long for like a donation drive toward the legal fund on specifically this. This is what the shirt idea is don't tread on my NMN. It's supposed to be like the Gadsden flag, if you will.
I love that.
Okay. But this is what's in question. This is a B vitamin derivative. There is current controversy on this because it has potential to be a longevity promoting agent, but you can't tie any of these health claims to it directly. But you can say it's a form of niacin, right? It's a vitamin B3 derivative, which has it classified as a dietary supplement. And where this is really getting caught up is there's a drug company that is saying that they have claim to it, and that since
they trademarked it.
Well, that's where things are getting shaky because they went forward with some clinical trials saying that this was going to be a drug that they were going to end up making into something that was going to be part of their intellectual property portfolio, and that this would only be prescribed to people. And I mean, like, compared to what is the real thing? Prescribed to people to in a sense, like prevent aging or to extend lifespan. The actual claim set on it is still pretty much like to be determined. However, this investigational new drug application for NMN was placed after the new dietary ingredient notification was sent to the FDA to make this a legal dietary ingredient for supplements. And right now, there's a policy battle going on. Is it a drug? Is it a supplement? And my position on it will be we can do both. That is where I'm willing to settle. You can have it. You can prescribe it to people. You can give it to old people. You can give it to young people who want to live forever. However, the prescribing guidelines are going to go on NMN is a toss-up. It could be anything. Versus on the other side, you can just buy it as a dietary supplement and you could take it for whatever intents and purposes we think NMN might be beneficial. But right now, the FDA is siding with the pharma company. And they're saying that, no, you cannot use this as a dietary supplement ingredient, even though the new dietary ingredient application has been filed, has been granted. There have been no red flags, and there's plenty of human safety studies that say, yes, this is fine. It's not toxic. There's nothing wrong with this. It's not going to be posing any kind of potential harm to public health. But yet this pharma company over here wants all the money.
Well, and that's who has the money to pay off the FDA.
That's why we're in this problem here, because these guys submitted their paperwork too late. They do have a bunch of money. They are trying to lobby to FDA to actually get this thing kind of shut down as a dietary supplement. Whatever.
Yeah.
Like they're
greasy.
They're trying to play
all the way around.
greasy corporate, corporate government, institution kind of games. And we're over here just like fighting for our rights.
Yeah.
As far as the rules are, as far as like objectively looking at this chemical, it is a vitamin B3 derivative.
Yeah.
I don't care what kind of like packaging, marketing, or whatever you want to put on this thing, saying that it's an approved therapy for aging. Who the fuck needs an approved therapy for aging? The life expectancy in this country is increased exponentially since we've got like the actual, medical establishment that knows how to cure all kinds of stuff. But, who is going to get prescribed something to extend their lifespan? And are we going to shut that off to the grand masses and, pretty much have it to where it's like a socioeconomic thing? Like if you can get approved to have like your lifespan extended, like who's going to pay for that?
That's silly.
I would think that would be something that's going to be reserved for like elitist kinds of people,
right?
Who are like, I would like to live forever because I've got too much money to spend and not enough time. That's what it's going to be versus, your everyday person saying, hey, I think I could take this and get some, really good benefits, like turn on my longevity genes and see what I can do to like, increase my blood sugar sensitivity and treat my sirtuins all nice. There's plenty of applications.
See, I think about the military when it comes to this because we like to make products for our military for reducing heavy metals or sleep.
Yeah.
For their sleep aid and things like that. This, this is
It's applicable to just about everybody, but yet they're trying to make it
anyone
not.
can benefit from this. They really can, and that's why it's considered to be like this kind of thing that's really a vitamin. You know, it's essential to life. Is it like the vitamin? Yeah, there's like 5 different kinds of niacin. Okay, you could pick any one of them you want to, but not one of them is locked up in intellectual property protection for a pharma company,
Right?
And none of them should be because they're all fucking vitamins.
Well, that going back to sort of the political standpoint,
It's
we're
government overreach.
Yeah.
It's government
we're-
overreach
but we're
with a
doing-
corporate fucking twist to it.
that's happening everywhere in every facet of our life right now. It feels like.
Yeah.
We just don't really have any control over any of it. And I feel like a lot of us are just like, well, fuck it. I'm just going to do what I want to do.
It's blatant corruption. It's
Yeah.
blatant corruption when the law should be the law and this thing should be available to everyone.
Well, wasn't the jab basically blatant fucking corruption?
Yeah, absolutely, it was.
So, like, this whole thing, like, it's all just a fucking sham, man. Like,
It's all
I'm
gonna
tired.
boil
no
to
one
a head.
believes in this stuff anymore.
I'm tired of getting like shysted over for corporate interests. You know, when it's our health that's at stake.
I'm all for people making their money. Like, I don't care. Like, get your paper boo.
That's why it should be a both. It can be a drug and it can be a supplement, and you know that's fine.
Capitalism is a beautiful thing because everybody has the same opportunity to make. as
Well,
much as
it's
they
not
want.
seeming that way right now, right?
Well, yeah. Well,
In some cases.
I think if a doctor wants to prescribe this to somebody, that they shouldn't be hindered from doing so because really everyone could stand to benefit from this. At the same time, like if you know where to find it, you should be able to go pick it up at a store and it shouldn't be an issue. Like methylfolate is something that is both a drug and a supplement. B12 is something that is both a drug and a supplement, depending on if it's being prescribed. Fish oil, something that can be a drug and a supplement. There's plenty of cases where both exist in the marketplace. And this is something that should also have the same kind of treatment. But we have to fucking fight for it.
So someone's just trying to weasel it in through the back door. And
Weaseling in through the back door with money and a whole bunch of rule bending and gymnastics that are going on behind closed doors that we're just not privy to. But I mean, from
let's kick those doors in, Joey. We need to kick that.
We're gonna
door
kick those-
kickers.
we're gonna
pipe
kick the-
hitters. We need pipe hitters.
You know what? I think it's up, and I think this is happening with Texas. Going back to that now is like we're Texans
fed up?
Yeah, we're that type of people.
Well,
That's our culture.
It's a matter of like the rules. Hey, you guys put these rules in place. It's time to follow the rules. And if you're going to bend and try to jump around the rules that you put in place, that makes you guys look like a bunch of hypocrites.
Yeah.
Well, then why am I not going to just say fuck your rules? If you're not going to abide by them, why should I?
Because we should. Because, you know, we as a civilization, we have these laws that we have all somehow agreed upon.
But
that
yet
we're going to stick to.
But yet our overlords don't.
Yeah,
That's
but
what I'm
when they
saying.
don't, that's if anyone crosses the line, they're crossing the line.
But
if
they
no
do
one,
it habitually every single day
But it's sometimes it's up
In
to
your
us.
face.
in our face.
It's up to us as
and
the
then
collective,
lie about it.
you know, to where we are going to make sure that these rules are properly enforced. So that's why we are going to be campaigning the entire month of February to get support behind this cause for NMN, which will culminate at an event at the Arnold. So if any of you guys
That
are
is
going
Black
to,
History Month. I think we can pick another month to do this.
anyone could be involved. I don't care what color your skin is. This is about our genuine rights
I
as
understand,
human
yeah.
beings.
Yeah.
So that's what we're doing for February. It's going to culminate at the Arnold and Expo West. If you're interested in getting involved, you can reach out at, the Natural Products Association. I think it's npa.org. Will you pull that up? And they also have a nonprofit arm that you can also donate to. It's the Natural Products Association Foundation. So
So we're brainstorming some ideas of maybe
npanational.org. Reach out to them, find out how you can get involved, or you can reach out to me directly, or you can reach out to us here at the podcast, and we'll give you more information in like the coming weeks.
yeah.
And this is an association that a lot of people can join as well, right? And support.
Yes. So if you want to become a member of the NPA, whether you're a brand, whether you're a manufacturer or an ingredient supplier, or just as an individual, you can get it in as far as your membership. I think for brands that are doing like less than $100,000, it's like $1,500. There's multiple tiers to it based on like the revenue that you make as a company. But these are the guys that are actually like
They're advocating for lots of other things, not just in
they're our trade association. They do some lobbying for us, but they are basically the activist group when it comes to dietary supplements on Capitol Hill, actually influencing legislators and making sure that we hold them accountable. And that's what we're going to do.
Very cool. Very cool. I love it.
I kind of hate all that stuff though.
Yeah.
At some point, you have to get involved.
Yeah, I think so.
Otherwise, if we're just going to allow these guys,
It's like
to,
a fight fire with fire. I get it. I get it.
I don't want this to be illegal. I don't want us to lose something that is actually like this good.
No, I agree. I think about it often. Like this is a livelihood for a lot of people.
We've lost a lot of things in this industry, so we got to fight for things like when we have a leg to stand on. If it's not dangerous to public health, if it's not something that's like a gray area ingredient, and it is something that's super legit. Like the last case that this happened was with N-acetylcysteine, NAC. But this thing is definitely a vitamin. As far as the rules are concerned, like we need to fight for this one.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with you there.
Just gotta fight for
Thank you for that soapbox.
Well, and I'm willing to help you, man. Let's do it together.
Yeah.
Let's use this.
Can I join? Make it a threesome.
You want a shirt that says "Don't tread on my NMN"?
Buddy, that was awesome. I would definitely, I would wear that shirt.
Yeah.
Yeah, we need to send one of those to Morgan Luttrell.
If you guys make a donation,
that'd be badass.
We'll put your
I know him
logo
well.
on the shirt. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna get donations from all these different brands and companies.
Oh,
and
there's a
stuff.
donation involved. Here we go.
How else do you think we're gonna
Kidding.
fight the FDA, man?
With guns.
Well, no, not guns.
No guns. No guns.
They don't like confrontation. They have a lot
of guns, though. The FDA has a lot of guns.
You need to
Same
sell
with
them.
the post office.
You need to
people.
sell them the ammunition that they may or may not use against us. As we, create this
That
movement.
could be happening. I don't know. I can't.
Cannot confirm or deny.
I'm going to fall on a sword for NMN. Fine. If there's anything I'm going to fall on a sword for, I think NMN is totally worth it.
We'll fall together.
Yep.
So, what do you think about this border crisis?
Oh Lord, just fucking finish that wall. It was going to cost $5 million to build a wall, but yet we've spent.
What happened? What happened to our wall, man?
Most
This
of
is
it's
a good question. Well, yeah. Well, it's a good question. What happened to our wall? They
There's
just
a lot
didn't
of
finish
like
it.
noodling that's been going on
Yeah. Well,
down there at the border.
It's all open. It's all open now. I mean, you can imagine what I think about it, being the American patriot, Texas patriot that I am.
Yeah. Fed up.
They say 11 million illegal aliens have come into this country, but there's been a study. I think it was Stanford or one of those colleges did a study just recently that said no, that's in excess of 22 million illegal aliens that have come into this country.
Apparently, in December alone, it was 300,000 people.
Right.
And out of all these people that have come across, apparently like 50 plus of them are on the terrorist watch list.
Yeah. And just think about, but what kind of implications is it going to have in voting in the future?
What's up with that? Like, is this like some sort of strategy?
If
Absolutely.
If that's something to get spooked about, that's one thing. But having 50 people that are on the terrorist
Sure.
watch list
I
coming
think it's
in,
more than
like,
50.
There's plenty of reason to be concerned about that, voting aside. Like,
Yeah.
okay, we've let 50 terrorists that we know are terrorists
Yeah.
into the country.
Why? I don't understand the benefit. Like,
There is no benefit.
then
It's
why are people fighting for it?
voting rights. That's absolutely what the left is trying to do, is for voting. And if you disagree, you can fuck off, because that absolutely is the truth. There's no other. They're not here to pick fucking vegetables. That's one of the most racist things that the left will tell you, is that well, who's going to pick our fucking vegetable? Who's going to clean our house? I think it was Ozzy Osbourne's daughter who said that. Like, well,
Goodness gracious.
yeah, who's gonna clean our toilets?
That's such a tone deaf thing to say.
But did she not?
I think it's more than that, to take as much of a nonpartisan approach to it as possible, because you got to kind of like sit from their perspective. Like, they see a declining birth rate. If there's a declining birth rate, there's going to be a declining workforce. And the only way to overcome the declining birth rate usually is through
Who says that?
immigration. A lot of people say that.
Well, there is a declining birth rate.
Yeah, so even left or right, you take the bird's eye view. I mean, obviously, overpopulation is not a concern, like we've been told many times before. If you have a declining birth rate, you have a declining workforce, and just look at like the baby boomers. That's a perfectly good example. Most of them are retiring or will be retiring,
Pulling
and they're
Social
going.
Security.
Or dying.
Well, yeah, it's a financial burden. That generation also has a whole ton of non-communicable metabolic disease like obesity, type 2 diabetes, cardiovascular disease, etc. And Alzheimer's is going to be huge. But this is a big baby boom. This is a very large segment of population that's moving through the timeline of age that we've never seen the likes of before. We don't have enough fucking nursing homes for all these fucking old people, and we're going to have to find somewhere to put them. Yeah, sure, they're buying up all the houses and property, rent's going through the fucking roof and all that kind of stuff, but they're going to be at a point in their lives where they're shitting their pants and half brain dead, and we don't know what to fucking do about it. And then they're
Same with
all,
the veteran population too. The homeless veteran population is massive.
yeah. But the point is, they're all going to die. And that's going to be a huge population decrease that's going to happen within the next 20 years. And someone's going to have to pick up the bill for all that. Not only are we going to have to pick up the bill for all this, but we're also going to have to somehow keep the gears of production going. I mean, you would hope that AI and robots could potentially fill that void, because otherwise there's going to be an economic contraction that is going to be more noticeable than whatever economic apocalypse that we think that we're getting into through like all this government spending.
But you don't just open up the borders to allow all these people to come to our country to fill this baby boom that you're talking. I mean, the old people dying. I mean,
I'm not condoning it, but I'm saying that could be a reason why it's happening.
That could be a reason.
A justification, not a reason. A
they're
justification.
doing a pretty
I think
damn
that would
job
be a
of-
very small justification.
Yeah.
I mean, I know people on the Hill. I know people, you know, that I would just venture to say that this is really just about voting, not 100% about voting. But
Who's
I
to
believe
say they're
that,
all going to vote that way?
well, they're
though?
not. And actually, to be honest with you, a lot of them are already turning around and going back home anyway. There are flights. They don't talk about that on the news, but there's a lot of them that are getting on flights and be like, you know
They
what, I
said
fucked
fuck
up.
this and left.
Yeah, like in Texas, there's like, this is not what I thought it was going to be. There's a lot of, you know, people that left California that came to Texas that are just like, yeah, this was a mistake. I'm going back to California. But there are people that have already come into this country. Not as many that are coming in, but there are some that have already said, man, I'd have nowhere to go. I didn't really think this through. I thought I was going to get so much shit at the fucking border. And they're heading back to where they came from.
Well,
So-
maybe they got their fucking free cell phone and a couple $1,000s, and then they headed back. I mean,
They probably did.
I would be one of those border hopping gypsies where I get all this free stuff and I could just go home.
I don't know which ones get this
You
money.
gave me enough money for a flight back, you fucking idiots.
I don't know where. Yeah, exactly right. But they're also getting they're getting money and then they're getting to fly back. But I don't know where the ones that are getting this money are. We were just down in San Antonio and we saw a lot of panhandling. That's one of those sanctuary cities. The people that we saw weren't. Not all of them were Mexican or whatever that everybody thinks that they are.
Yeah, these are from people from all
But
over
they were
the world.
panhandling, and I'm just like, well, if they were given this money, this opportunity, you know, this $5,000 in a phone, that's a lot of money to go somewhere and start a life. I don't know that if are they all getting $5,000 fucking dollars a piece?
Where does this money come from?
You.
Us or the fucking Fed going, brrr.
Oh yeah, they're just cranking out some dollar bills.
Well, that's
that's
what I
why you
mean.
need to invest in gold and silver. I'm sorry, there's a Fox News plug. Those fucking commercials are just horrendous.
Like, where do you draw the line? I'm a conspiracy theorist, or goddamn, some of this stuff is fucking all coming true. Like,
Yeah, I'm all for people coming into this country, but doing it according to law.
yeah,
You know,
it can't just be
just
like,
this mass migration of people coming across our border is horseshit. If you go to Gaza, or Egypt, they put up fucking massive walls of barbed wire to keep Palestinians from coming into their country.
They're kind of trapped against the ocean, though.
They kind of are. They're fucked. But they also fuck themselves, and that's just another conversation to have later. But I have seen it in other countries where their border policies are far stricter than ours. And I mean,
I'm sure in Namibia it's pretty impressive.
Well, what's pretty wild is to think that there are many, and you would know this, there are many conflicts going on in the world.
oh yeah. I
simultaneously
can
right
tell you
now.
the Green Berets are in. At one point, we were in 93 different countries at one given time when I was in.
Right. We talk about one or two of them.
Yeah.
But they're all like
Anytime you can,
convoluted. They're all like
we combat advise all over the globe.
Right.
Combat advise.
Yeah.
So yeah,
And not
there's-
all of them are for good like we like to think.
I mean, you don't even know about them. So
Yeah, right.
they're just like, where the fuck is that country, and why are you guys there? Because we
Why are
speak
you
that
funding
language.
these people and selling them this?
Oh yeah, there's so I have
Yeah.
seen so much corruption as a soldier in these United States, especially as you know the Green Beret that I was. We're also supposed to be diplomats. I speak another language. Я говорю по-русски немного. Я американский солдат спецназ. I worked out of an embassy for a while. You know, you get to learn and see and witness shit that makes you scratch your head. But it makes this world turn.
What if we just had a fucking timeout? Like, can America just be like, you know what?
For a
We're
sponsor
gonna-
break?
We're going to call a timeout.
How do you get it? How do you do that though? We had a
just
timeout. It was called
fucking quit
COVID,
it.
and the world went fucking crazy.
He's got a good point there.
Really, though? I mean,
We took kids out of school. People didn't go to work.
I'm not like a Trump dude. I
Everyone
never was,
just fucking
but
sat at home and jerked off and watched Netflix. I mean, it was okay for a minute. But, like, as far as, like,
I should have invested in fucking Pornhub before the COVID.
it would have been a great idea if they're publicly traded. I don't know.
I don't
If
know
they're
either.
not, that guy's got a lot of money.
Yeah.
I'm never like a Trump dude, but like nothing really happened when shit was pretty good.
No, he just got shit on the whole time. It was a fucking sideshow.
I got to hang out with that dude for 4 hours in Pueblo, Colorado. Wonderful man. Until he went on stage, and you're just like, was that the same guy I just sat here with for 4 hours? This was right before he became president.
Yeah.
And it was awesome. One of those stories and pull out of my ass where I got to do some little security work.
Jesus Christ, here we go again.
I know. And he was just wonderful. He was a great dude. And then he goes on stage, and it's like a camera's in his face, and a switch turns on. And he's just very animated, and I don't know, but I really like the guy. I really do. I don't agree with him 100%. Like I said, I don't like to say that I'm a Republican or conservative or a liberal. I'm definitely not a fucking leftist. Because I'm more lean right, middle road.
I think most people do.
Yeah, most people do. We're kind of getting tired of this two-party system. It's fucking horse shit.
Yeah, it doesn't work.
I just want to have my own patriotic party. We have the Libertarian Party. It didn't really take off. The Tea Party, that was fucking hilarious.
There needs to just be some party that, I don't know, has some sense of reason.
Common sense party.
That's what the Libertarian...
Protect our people.
Yeah, that's what the Libertarian Party should be, but it just...
Nobody
it doesn't work with the way the voting is now.
Oh, and you can't get away from the people that run the fucking parties.
Right.
They're not going to let you digress from Republican or leftist.
You're not going to split the vote into a third down.
I think
look what they're doing to RFK.
I think he's got a chance.
And he seems like a reasonable guy. He has no chance, but he's reasonable.
Here's what I think it is. I think he needs to stick it out and be this fucking wild card because he's going to pull votes from both the left and the right.
Well, we thought that with the Johnson cat too a couple of years ago.
What Johnson? Who?
What was the name? Jerry Johnson or some shit like that.
Who the fuck are you talking about?
During the fucking Trump Clinton campaign.
That was a lady, and
no, it was not a lady during the 2020 election.
I
Not
know who
2020
you're
election,
talking
the
about.
2016
2016?
election. Yeah,
her initials were JJ.
no, it was a man, and he was from Colorado
2020,
or New Mexico.
2020 election.
Something Johnson, dude.
Jimmy Johnson, car racer, 48, number 48.
No,
Go to 2020, not 2016.
Yeah, 2020.
Jill, her name was Jill something.
it's a dude.
Good God, 2020.
Yeah, it's 2020.
No, it's 2016 is what I'm talking about. Right?
No,
Go for it.
that was when Trump won.
Yeah,
Where is
exactly.
she?
It's when it was Trump versus Hillary, and that was like turd sandwich and fucking douche nozzle or whatever from South Park. And there was a dude who was like trying to legalize weed at the time nationally.
Carla Fiona?
And he was a libertarian.
No, there's no JJs.
That's 2016. That's why.
Yeah.
Mitt Romney's on that shit.
I don't remember any JJs.
2020. Her name was Jill.
On a Libertarian Party.
The Green Party?
No, the Libertarian Party.
I'm going to go pee.
Okay.
I think I'm done, though. I mean, drinking water, that is.
We'll call a pause in the recording.
See, that's what I mean.
We interrupt this cast to talk about today's supplement sponsor, Dark Labs. We're all about pushing limits and achieving peak performance. And Dark Labs is famously, if not infamously, known for being creators of many heavy-hitting, high-stim pre-workouts. But today, I am not here to talk about high-stim pre-workouts. I'm going to talk about my personal favorite Dark Labs product, the incredible and Nutrimedia label-designed PIMP, aka PIMP, 20 servings, stem-free pre-workout supplement, which comes in two incredibly easy-to-drink flavors, green apple and sour cherry, green apple being the favorite of mine. I know how crucial it is to find a pre-workout that gives you the extra edge without overdoing it on stimulants. That's where Dark Labs steps in. Their PIMP pre-workout is especially formulated to power up your workouts, all while being completely stimulant-free, packed with key ingredients like 10 grams of citrulline malate. That might be over-engineered if you ask me. And 1.5 grams of nitrosogene, along with several other pump-tastic, fully dosed trademarked ingredients. PIMP enhances your endurance and strength, ensuring you get the most out of every session. Plus, it's perfect for those late-night workouts since it won't keep you up all night. Head over to darklabs.pro to grab yours now. And for our Supworks listeners, use special promo code SUPWORKS20 for a 20% discount on your purchase. Dark Labs, where serious athletes find their secret weapon.
And we're back. Sorry.
Yeah,
we had to
sorry.
take a quick... Gary Johnson was who I was talking about. I know that probably pissed a lot of people off.
And I was talking about Joe Jorgensen, who's the Libertarian candidate for 2020.
Yeah, I was talking 2016. You were talking 2020.
The point is, I think RFK's got a chance to
I do
take chunks
too.
out of both sides.
I do too, but I think it's like it's
Not
a
anymore.
fucking.
You don't think he's going to stay in it?
No, I think he is, but I honestly don't think.
It's just irrelevant.
Yeah.
It's like it.
I think
it's
he's going to
irrelevant.
steal.
I
It's
think
mathematically irrelevant.
I don't. Because I know leftist people. Just today, one of them was just like, she voted for Joe Biden. And I know a handful of these people are like, this is not what we fucking voted for. And they're not even going to fuck around this time and mess with the middle of the road. They're going to go back to what they knew was working before they voted for Joe. They just didn't like Donald Trump for personality reasons. And so, and they're like,
I just
still don't.
Even if he gets a second shot, I don't think the establishment is going to fucking leave him alone.
oh no, God, no. They're going to come after him even harder. Look at
Yeah.
what they've done so far. I mean, it's,
Yeah, I don't.
The only way it will work is if heads fucking roll and he really does quote unquote fucking drain the swamp. I mean, everyone like term limits, everything. Like,
But is that
Tucker
realistically going to happen?
probably
Tucker
not.
Carlson called it. He said, you know, their last resort is somebody's going to kill him because they're trying every which
Could
way,
be.
you know, to get rid of the dude.
Yeah,
That's going to
He
look
did
like
say
a
that.
Jeffrey
Yeah.
Epstein all over again.
Oh yeah, for fucking real.
Yeah.
And
But then
yeah.
if he has like Vivek or something like that as a vice president, that might actually be reasonable because he seems like a reasonable guy.
I'm really concerned about all these second placers, the Viveks, the Nikki Haley, and like wondering who the WEF plant is on the Republican side.
Yeah,
and
it's
Nikki
true.
Haley fits the bill 100%.
For sure. I mean, obviously, but
Like she was part of, she was already part of like, what was it? The WHO or something, not WHO, some UN. She was our UN ambassador. So she's already in with the establishment.
Not a
and
fan of
everything.
those people.
So she's ready and waiting in the wings for Trump to be taken out by whatever means, legally, illegally, whatever, and he's not in the picture. Oh, here's your consolation prize. You're Nikki Haley, UN ambassador, who's also a World Economic Forum global
that's
leader.
so fucked up. That's basically just the Democratic. It's the same thing. The same deep state going in.
Well, yeah,
just
it's
the same
exactly
thing.
the plan. Like, yeah, she was planted there from the Democrat Party to act like a fucking Republican, even though she's totally establishment. So yeah, if she ends up being on the Republican ticket, fuck that and fuck her. I'm not voting for Nikki Haley.
I think she's a capitalist leftist.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, and they all are anyway.
That's
I mean,
I like RFK, but I wish he would have just kept running as a Democrat because I think he had more like to talk about there.
I mean,
he's a huge threat. So, you know,
Exactly.
the establishment came after his ass and
For sure.
don't fuck with Joe Biden. And did you listen to that dumbass yesterday? He was at a brewery.
I
Did you
heard
see
about
that?
I don't
this.
understand
Oh,
why
he was
anyone could
babbling.
think that could be a good idea. I don't understand how anyone could think that
Because
person.
most people on the left now are fucking morons. Joe Rogan used to be a Democrat. If you watch one of his most recent podcasts, he's like, I was a Democrat. He's like, but they've lost their fucking mind.
I
And
voted
they
for
have.
Obama twice.
You fucking idiot. Jesus.
I thought he was a good guy, man.
Well, yeah, I would smoke weed with the guy, but I wouldn't vote for him.
Compared to Mitt Romney, who's clearly a corporate sock puppet. Fuck that guy.
I don't even know what's up with Mitt Romney. No, yeah, he claims he's. I don't.
Well,
yeah,
the point
yeah.
is we've always had really bad choices.
Terrible choices.
But like it seems this year, there's actually some pretty reasonable ones, but we're not fucking talking about them.
No, we are dealing with like the worst of the worst. So like, here's what I think is what we're dealing with. You're gonna have Joe Biden. Trump's gonna get taken out by whatever means. So then you're gonna have Nikki Haley, and then you're gonna have fucking RFK. So eventually you're gonna have basically 3 Democrats running against each other.
We'll see what happens. We got a whole year.
So
Or
it's-
less.
It's going to get weird, man. And there's just so much stuff we don't know.
totally
We'll
gonna get
never know.
And that's why I have an ammo company as well called
Yeah.
Mutant Munition, where you can buy ammo at mutantmunition.com.
Or you can just get a Greens Detox and then end up getting free ammo with your order.
That's right. You know what, though? If you think about it, we've lived through Clinton. We can go as far back as Carter, and we've lived through it all. And we're all going to come out. But to what extent?
It's never as bad as it
Can't
seems.
we just have a president that we're fucking proud of for once?
Right?
Instead of voting for shit sandwiches?
So do you think it's the media that fucks that up?
Yes,
Oh,
of course.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, at least they're like controlled, like there is some sort of narrative, obviously, with the whole pharma thing and the jab and all that shit. So it's like,
I don't like Trump anymore because of that.
me
Because
neither.
of him
Because of
forcing it?
Operation Warp Speed.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like you were fucking.
What if he
bought and paid for
apologized?
it.
Still, you can't
Tell me the value of a politician's apology.
after that.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's
like
shit in
it's-
one hand,
What if he
wish in
buys
the
you
other.
McDonald's or something? He's big into that.
No, what was there a fucking secret vaccine in my burger?
Right, you
Probably.
never know.
Fuck him.
He didn't know. None of these guys who get into office
of
really
them
know
know.
shit. And it's the people that they're puppet masters that tell him this is what we're doing and this is what works. So, I would imagine he feels fucking like a dick bag for fucking pushing Operation
A
Warp Speed.
patsy. Like
Yeah. Well, maybe he should come out like
if the
say some
Democrats
shit.
want anything, like appeal to the anti-vaxxers and be like, well, it was Trump who brought the vax out. And just suddenly, like, once these like vaccine side effects are like
Right,
really
yeah.
in full swing,
Wasn't our
be like,
fault.
fuck him, he did this.
Yeah. Yeah.
It just doesn't really make any sense why anyone would vote for Joe Biden at this point. Like, Why? Obviously the man isn't all the way there.
Not just Joe Biden, but for the left, because even whoever they replace him with, they're just going to be on the same path that they're going down now.
Yeah.
And we need to fucking course correct this shit back to the middle of the road.
Yeah.
We really just need to focus on protecting Americans, regardless of how they come into this country and become Americans. But we need to focus on protecting Americans, our economy, you know, and
We're a nation that is drunk driving, and we were driving to the right, and we thought we were okay, and they were like, "Oh fuck!" So we overcorrected to the left. It's so hard that we're now in a spin, and we've got to fucking find the fucking middle, or we're gonna hit.
but we also need to fix our military.
be in the ditch.
We need to also fix our military to the.
What's wrong with our military
They're
today?
fat as fuck. Well, you didn't like that?
Well, I just think if I were in charge of the fucking military, they would all be mandated anabolic steroids. But that's my opinion.
Why not get them on some testosterone therapy? No, I'm just kidding. But no,
Don't
there's a lot
line
of
up
things.
for your shots now. Drop your
There's a
pants,
lot of things
face
that I
the
would
wall.
change in the military, and that really is. How long we been doing this show for now? Fucking over 2 hours, 2.5 hours. That's another show. But yeah, there would be a lot of changes, a lot of fucking changes.
Discipline culture is pretty important, though.
Yeah, that is absolutely, and just I think self-respect and looking good in the uniform is big. You know, it's appearance, the wear and appearance of the Army uniform,
Optics.
And back in the day, the commander of a unit could put you on the fat boy list and make you go do additional PT because you were.
I heard a rumor that they are going to ban certain substances in the military, which is the most
already
ludicrous
do.
thing I've ever heard of.
They already do in the Army. It's the medical people who run the Medac is what they're called. They have a list of ingredients and supplements, companies even on this list. That's why I told you that we have 2 products on the approved list of supplements that our guys can use at the Special Warfare Center and schools. In the Army as a whole, in the military as a whole, there is a banned substance list, and not just illegal substances, but they don't even want you using fucking protein unless they have approved. So
This is the most nonsensical thing.
yeah, I will try and get that list for you through some.
I'm like a believer in the Viking rules. I'll take whoever's willing and crazy and stupid enough, but also well trained enough to go into battle, and you can enhance your performance to whatever degree you
Absolutely,
see
man.
fit. I want a fucking brigade of berserkers going into battle.
You
I
can
don't
Google-
want a bunch of people who are protein deficient and don't know what the fuck a weight room looks like. You know,
SOCOM, SOCOM, SOCOM cracks down on special operations substance abuse or supplement abuse or whatever. They really started coming down on the Navy SEALs and the Green Berets. Anybody in special operations.
those are the guys I want taking
Yeah.
these things the most.
Yeah, no. Let's just
SOCOM, so calm.
This wasn't because of the
Yeah,
whole like
COM.
1-3 thing, was it?
oh my Lord, that was a
Yes.
fucking nightmare too.
Yes.
These guys died of. I had a dude try and tell me that he got busted for using methamphetamines, but he was just using 1,3-dimethylene. But the military was telling him like, "Oh, you're using meth, you're out."
I may have had a hand in some of this.
That was the original C4.
Yeah, yeah. I love 1,3.
There were 2 guys that took C4 on very extreme circumstances.
Yeah, didn't they like inject or
I don't know, but then they had like PT and they were like super drunk the night before and they like had no sleep and then like went to go do whatever PT testing they had to do and
Yeah.
they had adverse events. It wasn't good.
Anyway, performance standards are considered. Yes.
Do we want to do our last 2 things? We want to review a product and then we want to do that's bullshit.
let's do it and let's wrap it up because I know Emily's getting hungry. She probably wants
Yeah.
to take her out to dinner.
All right. Ed, you got any bullshit for us or do you
We
want us
normally
to
don't eat past 8.
You want us to review a product before that? Do you want me to review any of your products?
Yeah, review pipe hitter.
Pipe hitter.
And a pipe hitter is a special operator. That's what we call Navy SEALs, Green Berets. Anybody special operations, we call them pipe hitters, and that's where
It's not
you
a
know,
bong.
helping you suck less. That's what it says on the back.
It's not a crack pipe. It's not a bong. It is literally people who physically hit pipes. But there's more to the definition of a pipe hitter than
I mean, we're just door kickers, pipe hitter.
people who kick the door in, people who fucking go in first.
Yeah.
The modern day berserker, if you will.
Yeah, and the art is just kind of a homage to special operations dudes wearing MVGs on their helmet and the skull. We just like skulls and shit.
This is a
Being
very well done
badass.
label. Very
Also,
badass.
Lizzie Ritchie.
Yes.
Lizzie Ritchie.
Very nice job on this. All right. So we are starting off with 3.2 grams. For the full scoop is 16 grams. 3.2 beta-alanine with 3 grams of creatine monohydrate. You can scoff at that, but also the 3 gram dose I also stand behind because you can still reach saturation in 28 days. It's a more light, nimble creatine dose in here. The 3.2 beta-alanine is your entry level for clinical, which is good. Another 3 grams of citrulline, which is where you want to be as far as your entry on citrulline. Betaine anhydrous at 2.5, all good. I mean, this is also a fully disclosed, panel on here, which is great. Agmatine sulfate that can work with the citrulline. That's the downstream metabolite of arginase, which can feed back in your nitric oxide cycle. 300 milligrams of caffeine, which is decent. It's not overly caffeinated, but there's more. There's synephrine hydrochloride in here at 100 milligrams, which is a beautiful dose of synephrine. And then we've got a yo-yo blend in here. Rowolfia, 90% at 3 milligrams, and then regular yohimbine in here at 2 milligrams, which is the yo-yo blend, which you've seen before from stuff that I've done. But the stimulant portion alone, you're looking at a fairly moderate caffeine dose, a pretty high synephrine dose, and then that yo-yo blend. And this is in a 1 scoop, so there's not 1 scoop, 2 scoop. They're locking you in. Like if you want the performance ingredients of the betaine, the citrulline, the creatine, beta-alanine, then you're in for the 300 milligrams of caffeine, the synephrine, and then the 2 forms of yohimbine. This is a pretty fucking gnarly ride when it comes to the stimulant aspects of it. And then when you have like your functional ingredients with you have 2 things for pump, the agmatine working with the citrulline, which is nice. Agmatine's also got some neurotransmitter activity, so you could say that it's got double duty between the pump aspects, the blood flow aspects, and the stimulants. Then you've got creatine, which is hydration. That really pairs well with betaine because betaine is a methyl donor, which has a role. Betaine has another name, trimethylglycine, which is one of the precursors in creatine formation. So you could look at this as creatine and a creatine precursor, but the betaine anhydrous has power output benefit anyway, even at the 2.5 gram dose.
Creatine too, right?
Yeah. Well, and beta-alanine. So like the creatine and beta-alanine share the common thing that they're phosphagens. The betaine and the creatine share the common thing of one is used in the production of the other. So betaine is a necessary precursor with arginine and methionine, I want to say, for actually making creatine. So that all works. I have no complaints about this. Obviously, I'm biased because I did have a hand in this.
You're also a huge fan of Alpha Lead Performance.
And I'm also a huge fan of Alpha Lead Performance. And the flavor on this one fucking rocks. Mm-hmm. The raspberry lemonade.
Our flavor panels are pretty amazing. The guys that make it do a really, really good job.
And I bet this mix is pretty clear.
It does.
There's no color to this.
No dyes. We don't want any dyes.
Well, it's not just that, but like all the ingredients are beautiful white powders. Mm-hmm. So there's nothing to complain about. Like
white powder.
When you shake it up, like it's
tastes
just
good, mixes well,
frosty white.
Yeah.
hits hard.
If there's anything that you could complain about, there's a possibility that the creatine monohydrate may settle at the bottom of your shaker, but that's like a 50-50. You use this thing more than me. Do you have any settling of any ingredients in this?
Yeah, if I shake it like you just said, but I also I now do 2 little pumps in my NutriBullet mixer.
Yeah.
And that seems to take care of that. Yeah.
Completely homogenized.
Yeah, so if I do put it in but I am the guy that drinks it really fast and I don't let it settle.
Mm-hmm. I gave you a blend of 2 acids in here, the citric and malic. This is chef's kiss.
But if you wanted to, no, it's a chef's kiss. But if you wanted to increase or improve this product, what would you add? Steroids.
It depends on what aspects you want to beef it up in.
Yeah.
Because
Right now, it's pretty well rounded.
It's very well rounded.
We try to make a lot of our products, I think, about the veteran in mind, and I don't want them to be, out there at PT in the morning just fucking cracked out.
Mm-hmm. Blood flow, energy, and performance. You could dial this up to make it more cracked out, but arguably, it's pretty fucking cracked out.
Yeah, and again, I also make things for my satisfaction, and I don't like to be cracked out. I've never been a fucking fan of that. But I also think when you get older, this fucks with your prostate because I drink it and I have to pee like 10 times after it.
There is diuretic properties of 4.
That's why I've pissed so many times tonight. I drank before I came over. I seriously drank some of that and then had Alani.
I don't even know if I would do that, but I mean,
yeah.
And you had an energy drink after?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you're gonna be peeing a lot.
Yep.
A lot.
Yeah. I'm just kidding about the prostate. I drank some before I came over to be.
Did you guys do these labels?
No, Lizzie did.
Lizzie just did these whole things.
Lizzie does all their labels.
Actually, Emily has jumped on the label bandwagon and is starting to do label
Get
stuff.
out.
Yeah. Now
She did this one?
Emily does them.
She did this one.
That one's good.
We help them with their
see this
videos. Max helps them with their videos.
We are looking for a new protein maker because ours is so far away and jacked the price up on us a ridiculous amount.
It's the price of whey.
No,
it's not just him.
But when we added ours is organic, so when we added that,
Why?
I know.
Is it grass fed?
No, but it just works for us and our people. No, it's not grass fed.
Hey, can we rapid fire some questions real quick? 'Cause
Rapid fire, shoot.
You actually got quite a few.
Oh, we're live.
Yeah.
Nice. Shoot.
Well, you did. No, we're not live, but I asked some questions prior to this.
okay.
So let's just rapid fire them.
Yep.
So thoughts on PTSD, mental health in general, and supplements and advice for vets.
Ooh, that's good.
Yeah, PTSD. PTS. I dropped the D because I am a strong believer in that it can be not necessarily cured, but almost damn cured. You know what I mean? So we call it PTS.
It can be harnessed.
Yeah, we can harness that bad boy.
So it doesn't have to be some perpetual thing that just exists in perpetuity.
No.
You don't have to let it be a disorder if you don't want it to.
Well,
Right.
I mean, we all have trauma, but we
Yeah.
find ways to either let them overcome us or we overcome them.
Right. But there's a lot of treatments out there for it. And I'm a huge proponent in treating those and helping people find the healing that they need for PTS. Supplements for it. One of the things that I did was a brain treatment center that helped with my TBI and PTS. I think I wouldn't say that I had PTS. I'm just built different, if you will. I've seen a lot of shit, done a lot of shit.
Yeah. You're definitely built different.
Yeah, and mentally, and I think
sure.
that they look for that in special operations because we don't need to do what we do and then go back to the team house and cry.
This one's broken in the right way.
Right. Yeah. So
They broke you good.
but supplements, honestly, I like to tell people fix yourself first before you get into any supplements.
Yeah.
Some people need it as a crutch in order to get to a place where they can fix themselves.
Yeah, it's like a
But we don't need the downers. We don't need the uppers. I feel like you just need to fix yourself first before you can get into supplements. But I mean, multivitamins. I always tell people protein, essential amino acids, multivitamins at a minimum when you're on a health kick to heal PTS. Working out, increases a lot of the wonderful things that heal your brain.
The endorphin.
Yeah, and if I don't work out for 3 days, I feel like a dirtbag. And I don't want to do it. And I feel like that actually works against these people that are dealing with a lot of PTS issues.
They've got a lot of energy to expend, and they need to put it somewhere.
Snowballs.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. What was PTS? What was the other questions?
No, you answered them.
Okay.
There's lots more.
Yeah.
Okay. So
we can talk about PTSD for a long time, and I feel for those people, and I'm there for them. And if any of them ever have any questions, and I can help them find the therapy that they need, man, I always will do my due diligence and find the right form of.
So reach out.
Yeah.
Origin story on getting into supplements, performing with sleep deprivation.
Did you experience
I guess
any
you
of that?
kinda already explained that
where,
too,
where they
didn't you?
intentionally did some sleep deprivation stuff? to you?
Absolutely. Oh my God, the entire fucking selection part of becoming a Green Beret, or the Q course, being out, SEER school. I mean,
Yeah.
that's a whole nother, we could talk for hours about SEER schools too, as well. Sleep deprivation is huge, and they want to see how you react when you're not getting the adequate sleep that you need.
How did you react?
Again, I think that's why I got selected and I passed, is that I did all right. I mean, I've kind of hallucinated at
You
times.
just go robotic or what?
Yeah, you just kind of put your head down or head up and one foot in front of the other and keep rocking and rolling.
It's like the
When I'm
lights are
sleep
on.
deprived, I see shadow.
But I was also,
creatures.
when I went through selection and the Q course, I think that my body was peak performance. I wasn't abusing any type of supplements or alcohol or any of that stuff. And I just knew that I wanted to graduate. I knew guys that went out and partied and had a good time. And I did it occasionally, but there were guys that did it all the time. And they didn't make it, So
Describe your hallucinations with sleep deprivation a little bit.
a little bit. Trees move funny. God.
That's what I would like. Things out of the corner of your eye.
You probably
Yeah,
have a
yeah.
hard time really focusing in that time.
Yeah.
And you can't
Heavy
really
eyes,
remember.
You don't really focus, but trees move funny. Lights would just appear. I can't remember them all, but I remember having these conversations like, man, I was just so fucked up. But sleep deprivation is insane, but it's so cool to see what your body can do and how it will react to it and how it'll keep going.
Well, I mean, it's just like working out. You're pushing yourself.
Yeah.
beyond your thresholds that you are comfortable with. You're
Yeah.
moving out of that comfort
But
zone.
but talk about sleep though, and Plug in Alpha Elite Performance. We have a sleep aid that's phenomenally made by some people that I know. Thank you. And it's great. I absolutely love that one. I feel like it course corrected my sleep issues.
Yeah.
And I don't really use it anymore. I use our Alpha Immune that has a little bit of melatonin in it, but the GBNT sleep that we have, Green Beret nap time. I really feel like it course corrected my sleep into where I noticed that I didn't need any more, and I was sleeping through the night. When before we came up with that, I wasn't sleeping at all, but I was trying my damnedest to fix my sleep.
Yeah, maybe not something you like
that's what I feel
habitually
like is-
take, but something you can use to course correct.
Yeah.
and
That's my
Yeah.
problem. If you make a good sleep aid, you find out you don't need it every day.
Yeah.
Because if it does what it's supposed to, then it'll reset your circadian rhythm, and you don't need it every day.
Yeah.
I do love that about that.
It's both a good and a bad thing.
All right,
Yeah.
next
and
one.
that's one that's on the approved list at the Special Warfare Center in school.
Oh, fuck yeah.
That's great.
So if you're sleep deprived and you're in war school, there you
Taco
go.
Jitsu says, "I'm always happy to see fellow veterans flourish, and we'll be buying some of your products."
First of all, Taco Jiu-Jitsu. That's a fun name. Say
Taco
that. Say that
Jitsu.
5 times.
is this somebody you know, Joey?
It's Ryan Parsons for sure.
Taco
Yeah.
Jiu-Jitsu.
Shout out.
Well, then he said, "Also punch Joey in the shoulder for me. He'll know."
Got him.
What does he do? What do you do mentally, mindset wise, to get through some of your hard times?
You've had enough.
I know. Yeah, I'll tell you that hard times. Fuck, there's been so many. It just depends on what kind of hard time it was. There were times that I had seen enough death that I reacted a little and kind of shed a little tear. I'm not gonna lie. And I just kind of sucked it up and I think just buried a lot of that and just moved forward. The hardest time of my life was going through, I've been married 3 times, going through my second divorce.
Good Lord.
I know, my first wife, and we lost a child. I reacted different to that, but losing a family and going through that second divorce ate me up. It was bad. It was a really bad divorce because, I have 2 boys and didn't want to lose them. And I think...
Don't divorce him, Emily. He's been through enough.
No, I hit the lottery with this one. Swear to God. We have never had a fight.
Good.
Yeah, in 7 years. But again, I hate to say that I'm just built different. Or I don't
You've
want to
got to
say...
have something like there's got to. I like to say that in people who are built different like you, there is a very bottom of the well that is like this place of insanity where you can just somehow fucking generate hope from.
You could just live there,
I mean,
Like,
but not only just like
at
physically
the bottom of the
impressive,
well,
but
like even past the depression is
Yeah.
like there's hope.
yeah. So, okay, and I don't want to bring religion into this, but I do pray. I do. I pray often. I pray in the morning, every morning I pray. And I think that helps me. Whether you believe in it or not, I pray, and that helps me. So if I'm going through something bad, and Emily can probably attest to this, I just get quiet. And then I just think about better things. You know what I mean? I think that's the only thing that I do to suppress any type of negative issues that I'm having.
yeah,
Take my place, take myself into a better place, and I pray.
yeah.
Because I do wholeheartedly believe in the power of prayer, regardless if you do or not. It just works for me.
Yeah.
You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
just having gratitude and just
Yeah,
like,
absolutely.
If you don't have like some belief in a higher power, if you're in such a low place like
Yeah.
that, then like where's your hope going to come from?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's all going to be for a reason at some point.
Yeah. And it could just be your higher power that you believe in, and pray to it, talk to it. And it works for me.
There are trials to make you stronger.
All right, rapid fire. So, what are your thoughts on the current state of the military? I kind of touched on it already.
Yeah, I know, but could be better. A lot better. We aren't recruiting people because of the things that are happening, whether you believe in a lot of those political issues or not. There shouldn't be politics in the military, but there is, and it's extremely left right now. And most people that join the military don't have those beliefs. And so we need to course correct, get back more to the middle of the road, and then get fucking politics completely out of the military whatsoever. These are people that join because they love this country, they're patriots, and they want to protect this country. And as Green Berets, we, to free the oppressed, that is our De Oppresso Liber, we want to help other people. And it's just hard to do so when there's a lot of negative politics, and that just seems to be what's in our military right now. We just got to get that shit out.
Get back to the mission.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm not a fan of it. I wouldn't tell anybody to join the military, although a lot of people ask me about the military. And I just had a phone call with an old high school buddy and his son who's about to graduate college and he wants to join the military. If it's what you want to do, I support you 100%. But go in there and make it better. You know
And
what
do
I
it
mean?
100%.
And do it 100% and make it better. And if you want to be a special operations guy, I guarantee you it's going to be a little bit better in special operations than the regular military. So, yeah.
Wise words from a wise man. All righty. Is anything else we want to plug, talk about before we wrap it up?
I did want to do a plug, but we also have to do That's Bullshit.
Do you want to do the last segment? Let's do it.
Let me do my plug. For those of you who are interested, the Sports and Active Nutrition Conference will be taking place in San Diego, California, February 12th through the 14th, where I'll be speaking on 3 different panels talking about innovation, just general industry thought leadership. And we were selected as one of the startup stars for 2024, so I will be speaking there. Tickets are really expensive, but if you can find a way to get in, fucking great. Otherwise, just stay tuned for more content on that. That'll be coming later. And that will segue us into this episode's segment of That's Bullshit.
So this is going to be a military themed. That's bullshit.
Oh, military.
We're not necessarily talking about supplements this time since Travis is here.
Fucking cool.
So I think we found some things that are kind of like, I don't know, common sort of like TikTok subjects about fucking military stuff. And we're just going to look at them and Travis is going to tell us whether or not they're bullshit.
Why you never say repeat?
He should not accept repeat. As many of you comm jockeys know, and anybody that's ever been in a combat unit in the last 20 years knows never to say repeat over the radio. It's just
Okay, so in this video, basically a lady is yelling at another soldier saying that you should never say repeat over the comms of a radio. And a guy saying you should never say repeat
poor soul down range is getting
over the radio.
because you
I agree.
No wonder those comm assholes are such assholes. They had to spend their time at their school out at the worst armpit of USMC. 29 palms. Feel bad for them too. I'm not really sure if that's fake or real, or if she's even really going off on him. Maybe it's set up. I don't know. But she seems
So
like an asshole.
the question is
Before you
saying repeat over the radio, is that bad?
Yeah, I've never ever said repeat. It's always say again over.
Why?
Because,
Yeah,
it's so
there's radio etiquette, and again, when you get into the battle space of the regular army, you have to abide by their rules. But special operations guys are just like, "Hey Joe, are you fucking coming over here?" Blah blah blah. But when you get into their battle space, you got to abide by their rules and repeat. I don't know if that I know of a repeater where radios go to the repeater and then down over a mountain or whatever.
It's relay.
Yeah, it's relay, but repeat over. I've never heard not to say that, but I've always been taught to say again over. When we do our phonetic alphabet or numbers, if you will, like forward instead of 4, it's forward, 5, niner. You got to say niner, not 9.
Because it's easier to hear.
Yeah.
You know what that means. It can't
Repeat
be.
could mean anything, not just what you said, but maybe it's what you did.
Yeah. I don't know if she said somebody downrange will die or whatever. I don't know if that's also, calling in CAS where, repeat, like repeat a gun run. I don't know. You're not going to say again over a gun run. So maybe repeat a gun run. I've never heard that, but I've also talked to plenty of aircraft overhead, firing down on booger eaters and,
Booger eaters.
yeah, lots of those.
Is that Marines?
No, bad guys.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Sorry, I don't know that.
Yeah, I
No,
didn't want
booger eaters is always, it is a military term, no?
for bad guys.
Yeah, for bad guys.
Yeah. And so
Yeah,
we can't say camel jockey or, any of those.
I've heard of booger, I've heard of booger
There's a
eater.
lot more that I can't say.
Yeah, I bet.
But booger eater is what we call. I actually learned that in Africa.
You call Marines crown eaters.
Well, we call them crayon eaters, yeah. And they love that. And
Yeah.
man, I love Marines. Seriously, Marines make some of the best Green Berets. I've known so many Green Berets where these guys branch transferred from Marines into Special Forces to become a Green Beret, and they're awesome. They just already have the mindset. We just got to tweak them a little bit, and but we always get the smarter Marines. Believe it or not, there are smart Marines.
Stop lying. Stop lying.
Nah, I'm for real.
So-
They must not have eaten the crayons.
So that TikTok not all the way bullshit.
yeah. Are we doing another one?
That's the next one.
Oh, he's got a Special Forces
New jungle uniform. Find this hole.
support guy.
Bro.
Okay. let's explain. So this guy, he's
a
in
pen
his
holder?
He's in his
Yeah.
uniform. He's taking a pin and he's putting it into his collar.
Yeah, on the inside. This has been forever. Even our old uniforms did that. They're being stupid. That is, I can tell you that E6
They're
right
making a
there.
joke?
So
Yeah,
that's
they're making a
bullshit.
joke because that has been around since when we used to wear the BDUs, the old woodland camo.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's because it's all button, normally. There's just another piece of material in there. It's not made for a pen holder, but it just is perfect to hide
Makes
a
a
pen
nice
right there.
pen holder.
Yeah.
So they're just embellishing this shit.
Yeah, they're just stupid army people.
Just making some dumb TikTok. All right, so that's bullshit.
Is there a war going on outside? There's so many.
Oh, dude, the fucking lake's right there. There's all kinds of
There
weird
has
shit.
to have been roads
Yeah.
are wet.
Yeah.
Someone spun out.
All right, so last one. This says veterans going to a job interview they're overqualified for. And there's a dude who looks like he's basically doing like a Zoom call interview.
Yeah.
And he's listening to somebody interviewing him.
Special operations. That's correct. It also says you have a master's degree in engineering. That is also correct, yeah. You do realize this is Texas Roadhouse, right? Yeah. You could probably land a six-figure job somewhere else. Yeah, you can't put a price on free rolls. You know what I'm saying? I mean, yeah, they are good, but I don't think we can hire you.
I agree with this. So, especially in my line of, so to become a Green Beret, most of us, and it's now a requirement of a minimum of 2 years of college.
Yeah.
But so many Green Berets have a master's degree. They're super smart dudes. You have to be smart. We're the only one special operations that require another language and education. You can be a Navy SEAL and
Were
just
you
be a
speaking
stud.
Russian earlier? What were you speaking?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So for context, if you can't hear the video, obviously can't see it. The guy, he's like interviewing at Texas Roadhouse, and he made the joke that he's
With a master's degree in engineering.
he's overqualified, but
Former spec ops.
He's there for the roles, and basically they're like, hey, we're not going to hire you.
But the
anyways.
problem with that, and there's some truth to this, because how does your DD-214, the document that you get out with, how does it translate into civilian life? And that's where a lot of these guys fail, in that they don't go to the appropriate people that know how to, transcribe your DD-214 into civilian resume material. And I actually know a lady who does this for veterans very cheap. She did it for me. Why do I need a resume? Because you never fucking know. But yeah, these guys have a hard time trying to explain, being an infantryman or being a special operations guy in,
how does that translate to some job that you may be
Right,
Yeah.
absolutely. But there's so many things that these guys do, especially once you get up, like as an E7 or higher, the schooling that you get on top of your education. I mean, you're constantly continuing education. You know what I mean? And a lot of these guys go to school while they're in and get a master's degree while they're in. But how do you take that military education, that military life, and put it into the civilian life? And they end up getting fucked. And so many people out there should hire veterans because of they're just not because they're veterans. There's a lot of shitbag veterans out there. But most of them are educated and they deserve that chance. And I guarantee you're going to love every single one of them. If I could hire all veterans, I would. And like I was telling you about SkillBridge, you can get veterans to come to your business and work for the last 6 months or so of
You
their.
might look into that. I wonder if that's what Travis over at St. Dennis does.
I don't know. Probably a lot of people don't know about it, but they should. And it affords these guys the opportunity to go work in the civilian world, getting paid by the military for the last 6 months or so of their career. And it gives you their skills. And they're going to show up because they go to work every morning at 6:30.
They're disciplined. They come pre-installed with all this software that makes them a good individual.
Yeah. Well, they used to be like that. There's a lot, like I said, our military's gone downhill.
Yeah.
So, but anyway, I digress. But yeah, there's some truth to that. A lot of these guys are like, well, fuck, I can't get a job anywhere. I might as well go work at Roadhouse, Texas Roadhouse. And then they're like, well, you're just overqualified. And then they're just fucked. And then it just spirals into a lot of the issues that we have with veterans today. And
Addiction and
yeah,
homelessness.
Yeah,
and all
it's
that
just,
stuff.
it's crazy. It's crazy. So,
All right. So to wrap it up, plug all your shit.
Alpha Elite Performance is our supplement nutrition company. That's why I'm here talking to you two gentlemen. It is my baby. It's been, fun doing this. It's been a lifelong mission, or my adult lifelong mission.
And you ship a little army man with every.
Every package comes with a little army man to remind people that we always have somebody deployed. And that's you don't think about it. We're not at war. We are at war, whatever. But there's always somebody deployed out there, sacrificing their time, their family, their life for this nation or other nations. Mostly it's other nations.
Yeah.
And then, AEP Outdoors.com is our nonprofit where we take veterans on adrenaline outdoor adventure trips. Those are usually pretty filled up because we utilize the guys that are already there to drop some names of guys that think that are deserving.
Yeah. Well, to our friends that own companies, and we have a lot of people listening that are like CEOs and executives of companies like that, this is a good place where you could make a donation, and you could also probably come and join the fun too.
Yeah, absolutely. We would love for you guys to come join the fun. And then mutantmunition.com is an ammo company that we own that we've kind of put some supplements in there as well. And we'll probably do more for the gun industry. Nothing that's going to tweak you out, but more focus and recovery stuff for a lot of the people that, like to run and gun, but not be tweaked out and shaking. And then the Green Beret Foundation .com is another wonderful nonprofit that I also work for. And we'll have more of a role in here pretty soon. And I put on the Green Beret event in Nashville, and we're doing one in San Antonio, April 27th.
Yeah, we went there this year. It was a blast.
Well, you're gonna have to come to one in San Antonio in April.
Well, that's easy, but I really do like Nashville.
Yeah.
It was a great time.
We got to tweak that one, make it a little bit better. It was at Kid Rock's. He needs to show up. If he would just dumb down his $1 million show up fee.
Yeah,
I'll come.
Dude,
but you give me $1 million.
If you could go across the street to Luke Bryan's place, that whole setup of their audio there was beautiful.
Yeah,
they had that venue on the New Year's Rock Nashville, whatever.
Yeah, I saw that.
I forgot who was playing it, but somebody
Cody Johnson played it.
Yeah,
he lives right up the street. We text.
Really?
Cody's awesome. Yeah, he just lives up here, just past Willis.
He's great, dude.
Yeah,
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
But
I remember seeing that at New Year's. I was like, shit, dude. Yeah, he does. Yeah.
Watch the documentary.
Yeah, I did see that.
Yeah.
But I was like, man, we were just there a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
But the audio there was just so good.
Was it?
Yeah.
Wait, wasn't I
You
there?
were there, but you were hammered.
Yeah. Yeah.
You were gone.
Fuck. Emily was like, I've seen you that drunk before, but what did you say, Emily? There was just that line of demarcation. Yeah. But I had started drinking tequila shots at 10 a.m.
Yeah, that was a long day. That was a long day.
And she thought she lost me. And this isn't still recorded, is it?
Yeah.
Oh, it doesn't matter. Yeah. And she found me just passed out against the door of our hotel. And
At least you made it that far.
Yeah, but I don't remember it. She told me about it. I piddled my pants a little.
At least you're in a safe place.
Yeah.
And you raised some money.
Yeah.
And you raised some money for the Green
I don't
Green
think
Beret
I've drank
Foundation.
that much tequila in my entire life. And oddly, because I only drink tequila and water, I did not have a hangover the next day. I never like to drink the brown stuff.
Man's just built different. Anything else you want to plug, Travis?
Man, I appreciate this. I appreciate what you guys do. Joey, I've known you for a while, and you do wonderful things in this industry, and obviously are going to continue to do more.
Oh, yeah.
And Taylor, man, I love what you got going on here. I can't stand it that you do this for other companies. I wish you just would do this for me only. But I respect your work, and your employees are wonderful. Max has been fabulous. I don't know you that well, but thank you.
Eduardo's man.
Yeah. I can't say enough. I appreciate you having me.
Definitely. Thanks for coming on.
Yeah. And we can do it again.
We will.
All right.
All right. Thanks for tuning in, and we will see you guys next week on the Sup Works podcast.